Happy Cyber Monday. You nerd.
For us. For us. Not for
You-
people listening.
No. It'll be, what, a couple of days from now?
Yeah,
If they're
reminds
day
us
one listeners, like our number one fan, Mighty Q Dog. So
He's like day 8 now, isn't he? He's catching up.
that's true. It's true. He hasn't quite moved to day one. We're getting there. We're slowly working our way up in the rotation.
Give it time.
Give it time.
I did buy something on Black Friday.
That was gonna be my question. Did you buy anything for Black Friday?
I normally don't find any deals or anything like that.
Me
but,
neither. Not really.
I've needed a new phone for a long time.
You have, yes.
I have a Pixel 2 XL, so that's like
Have
7
or
years
had?
old. I don't have still.
Okay.
So Black Friday, I ordered a Pixel 7.
Ah,
It was
okay.
on sale for $500, which is $300 off.
That's good.
So it was on sale on the Google site, like the Google store. Went there, out of stock in every color.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird, but whatever. So I'm like, forget about it. I don't want to go through Rogers, who's the cell provider. I just hate dealing with them. They always do the like, buy it for free and you get it for nothing, but we charge you more on your bill or whatever.
Yeah.
Tricks, or you give it back after 2 years. That's the other trick they do. They don't tell you about until you sign up for it. Anyway, so I went to Best Buy website and checked it out, and they had the same deal as Google's website. So $300 off. I was
Nice.
like, yeah, sure. I need a new phone already, and yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm getting to that point too, but haven't made the switch yet.
Yours isn't old enough yet, which is what
It's
I
a
told my wife
3.
about
It's
hers.
one newer than your 2.
That's like 6 months.
That's true.
I don't know how often they release phones anymore, but my wife's is a Galaxy S9? No, 10. No,
That's pretty old
9.
too.
A 9. S9.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's old.
I think so. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is.
Or my wife had an S9 too, so.
Yeah. How long ago? Before your children were born?
Up until she put her phone through the wash, I think you'll remember from this podcast that went through. Yeah.
That's good.
Remember my earbuds went through the wash, and then like a week later, her phone went through the wash. Yeah.
Yeah. Google has changed Chrome, and I have anger issues with this
anger
new
issues?
tab button. Try
Little
clicking the
plus
new
sign?
tab button, the little plus sign. If you're not right on it, it doesn't work. Like the edge of it doesn't work.
It does.
Go
That
in
could be in the top
go in
corner
the
of it.
corner.
I'm in the top corner. It
No.
works.
Bottom corner, bottom right corner. Maybe it's only the bottom right corner that has a problem. You have to go quite a significant ways in for it to work.
Bottom
Anyway,
left corner seems to be more picky, but everything else is fine.
Bottom right. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's stupid. If I'm
I
clicking
always
up
hit
there, I'm
Control
probably
T anyway.
clicking
I never
something.
hit that.
Oh, I never do. Interesting. Anyway, that's just a rant I got on while I was opening a new tab for I don't remember what now anymore.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't buy anything for Black Friday. Normally, I change my internet plan on Black Friday
Oh.
because that's usually when all the prices go down for like you can sign up for a year,
Yeah.
get 50% off for the year. I think I changed mine. I think I did.
That's very much a
Boxing Day this
Canada-specific
year?
thing here.
Yeah,
Even Boxing Day in the U.S. doesn't have.
no, not that big of a thing. But I'll have to keep an eye on my bill and make sure they don't charge me full price at some point. I usually get hit for 1 month full price, and then I call in and be like, "All right, what's the deal? Give me the deal." It's like new customers only. I'm like, every one of your competitors has the same deal, so either you
Right?
give it to me or I'll go to them. And they've
I went to
every
my-
year they've done it. It's been 5-6 years of me doing that, and they've always just given me the deal.
I went to Tech Savvy, my internet provider, and I was like, I want a deal or I'm leaving. And they're like, well, if you're seriously considering leaving, we'll give you a deal. And they gave me, I can't remember what it was anymore.
No,
So-
I'm not seriously considering
Good
leaving. Like
price.
you would admit to say.
Yeah, exactly. And he just needed me to say it so that he could
Yeah.
be like, okay, then I can give you this deal. Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't buy anything for Black Friday, but I did buy something today for Cyber Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I bought. This is for us, us nerds, a 14 terabyte hard drive, external hard drive,
Interesting.
because I am tired of running out of freaking space on my computer. I've got my like main hard drive, I've got two hard drives in my computer, and I've got like four external hard drives, or like 1 TB, 2 TB, 4 TB. I'm just like, I'm done with, I can't find the file that I need.
You need a
I'm gonna
NAS.
buy one one hard drive, and I'm just gonna put everything on that hard drive.
And
And
then it fails, and you
then it
cry. Which
fails.
is why I have a NAS that has 2 drives in it for every 1 drive. Everything is mirrored.
How's that working out for you? Last time I heard it was a pain in the ass for you. So.
It was a pain in the ass, but it's fixed now. It works great.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
My sister's NAS, I gave her a Drobo brand NAS a while ago.
Mhm.
I had found a good deal on it, bought it for her for like $50, and they're worth like 250, or maybe 400 at the time. But I gave it to her. She bought hard drives to put in it. Everything was great. And then I had my Drobo die, the exact same model. And I found another one. I used that for a year, and it died. And I thought, okay, maybe I should probably get my sister's files off that Drobo because I don't trust it anymore. And if your Drobo dies, you need another Drobo to recover the files. And they're getting scarce because the company went out of business. So I have my Drobo, and I have that one Drobo for hers. I got her a Synology NAS just last week. Found a really good deal on one for $70 with two 2 TB drives in it. So I ripped those out, put her 4 TB drives in, and then backed up all her stuff off the Drobo. And yeah, not in that order because I had to empty the drives off to another drive first. But anyway, so she's happy all her stuff is safe and it only costs $75 as opposed to like $400 for a new NAS.
Yeah, that's good. I'll probably still keep like a 4 TB and just have like, you know, the main pictures that I want to keep, you know, important documents, that kind of thing.
Just do a backup. Have a backup.
The backup.
Have a backup.
I'm not. How am I going to back up a 14 TB drive without another 14 TB drive?
No, I mean of just the family photos and stuff.
Oh,
The
yeah,
important
yeah.
stuff.
That's what I mean. I'm going to have one on this spot, on this one, and then on the other one.
Technically, there's a 1, 2, 3 rule, I believe it is, but I can't remember what it stands for. But one of the things is definitely, so it's at least having 2 copies of everything, and one of the copies, or I think it's at least 2 copies, but you should have 1 copy off-site in case your house burns down.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So my family photos, I try and back up periodically onto a hard drive that's stored at my mother-in-law's house. It's just a matter of getting that drive here, copy the files to update it, and put it back.
I'm actually considering making like DVD copies of all the pictures. Like burn them all to a DVD.
Because the DVD is technically only going to last for 5 years. However, I have ones that are well over 20 years old.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I ever showed you this. I found this in the garbage like probably 2 years ago, but they're like JVC professional use DVDs.
Interesting.
There's how many here? There's 100 of them.
Yep, I used to buy my CDs in the spindle like that.
So it's not even on a spindle. It's just like
I know they got cheap after a while. Yeah, but they'll have a clear, empty, like a blank disc at the top, a blank disc at the bottom. There's no reflective surface just to protect it.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I'll just use these for my backups.
Most people don't even have a burner on their computer anymore.
I don't think I could survive without a burner.
No.
I don't use them that often, but when I want one, I need one.
My PC doesn't have a DVD or an optical drive in it, but my 2 other computers here do, so I'm fine.
I've even considered like upgrading to like a Blu-ray drive, so I can like rip Blu-rays if I wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah. You have Blu-rays. I have like 3.
Yeah, it's a thing for me, but not for you.
Yeah.
Or I could burn it to Blu-ray,
that,
right? I could burn all the stuff to Blu-ray technically, right?
Blu-ray burner's even more expensive than a Blu-ray reader, right?
That's true.
I haven't looked in a while. They're probably cheap enough, but I assume at least $100. Whereas like DVD burners are like, I don't know, $40 now.
40,
maybe.
Yeah, nothing. So yeah, that would be my. Anyways, that would be my rule of thirds. It'll be like 2 copies here and then a copy on DVDs. I can give those to my parents or something like that. So.
Yeah. Just remember that DVDs are not safe in a fire. They will melt.
Yeah, they will melt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. They're probably just going to go in. I'm going to find one of those like CD wallet things and just have them all in there. Then I can just go through, label them.
I saw a couple of those at Crazy Bins last week.
Yeah, I have one here that's like got like spot for like 100 DVDs or 100 CDs, I think it is. So this
There
will
you go.
fit.
You got exactly 100.
Well, there's some music CDs in there right now, but I'll have to make space.
That's only 400 gigs. What are you gonna do with the other 14 terabytes?
Start burning all my movies to DVD. Oh wait,
Tried that once. It's a waste of time.
it is. I used to do that when I worked as a PSW. I went to this client's house that I literally just had to stay at his house for 4 hours, and he would sleep while his wife went to work.
Okay.
And so their living room, like they had an entire wall that was just full of DVDs, the whole thing. And I was there for like over a year. I would go there once a week, and then I was there for 4 hours. And so what I would do is that like I would take their DVDs and I'd take my laptop and I would copy them to my hard drive, and then I would get home and I would burn them to DVDs. And then I would, once a week I'd get 2 or 3 more. This is before like there was torrents and that's just how I watched my movies. So I'd go through the DVD collection.
I mean, it's just as good as stealing your parents' TV and VCR in the middle of the night.
Exactly. Even better. Yeah. So. Do what you got to do.
A few nights ago, Friday during the day, my wife and I ended up in bed together. I won't give any details.
Whoa.
But the bed broke. And
calm down. Just calm down, Derek.
I'm not giving any more details about any of that.
You don't got to show off at all.
I ripped up the mattress, like pulled the mattress off, pulled the box spring off underneath the bed to figure out what broke. Our bed's from when we moved into this house like 14 or 13 years ago, so it's old anyway. But underneath the bed, I found one of my lost Bluetooth headphones.
Oh.
That I thought I lost in New Hamburg, a town half an hour away.
Yeah.
Because that was the last time I remembered using it. Apparently, I slept with it one night and it fell out in the middle of the night and went under the bed and I couldn't find it. And I had no idea.
So just one or a pair?
Just one.
Okay.
Just one. So if I sleep with one in, I just put one in on the side that's not on the pillow because it's not comfortable otherwise.
Okay. And
usually they stay in where the ones that stick in.
Yeah.
And this is also the earliest sound Peats I had. It's the first pair of sound Peats I got for review. And they're push button, so they're not touch, so they don't accidentally trigger during the night and accidentally, call someone.
Yeah.
So I found that and I put it in the charger, and it did not, or in the the holder charger, and it did not start charging until 2 days later.
It just took long enough to
to trickle up the power to get it enough to power on.
You still have the other one then?
Yes, so I'm a hoarder, and I don't get rid of anything, and I kept the other one in the case and still charged up in my headphones bin in the other room.
That's funny.
Yep.
Any other personal details?
I fixed the bed.
Okay, good.
Matters. Yeah. Some long screws.
Wow. If only we had a shorts channel, this would be the short. I've had to do that too. I've had to take like 2.5-inch like wood screws to the bed to make stuff stick together.
2.5-inch.
That's all it is. That's all it takes. It's not how long it is. It's how you use it, right?
It's how you use it. Yeah.
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 Oh man. Well,
so, I have a big list of stuff I watched and a list of stuff to talk about.
I don't think we're ready for watch lists yet. All right,
Yeah,
we gotta tease the folk a little bit.
I got a lot of stuff I watched.
Oh my gosh!
I took your challenge from last month.
What was my challenge?
I wasn't watching enough stuff because I wasn't working. So, but first,
well, let me. I would do some show and tell.
Yeah, that's real good on an audio podcast.
Well, for the people watching on the YouTube channel,
there's nobody. And
I will. We get like 3, 3 people, 3 or 4 sometimes. Anyways,
the first 5 minutes.
That's it.
But
I gotta get this in quick. I was at Value Village, obviously, and I saw some DVDs of Power Rangers season
Mighty
3,
Morphin.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So this is season 3. It's not the complete original cast. They've still got some of the new people in there, but it's pretty cool. And then I found Power Rangers Turbo. These are not all of them. I wish they were all there, but this is all that.
Yeah, a bunch of them were on Netflix for a while there, but
yeah, then they got pulled. Power
Did they?
Rangers
Okay.
in Space, and then I got Power Rangers Lost Galaxy.
Ooh, I don't think I even know that one at all.
Me neither. I don't know any of these really. So
My son got obsessed with Power Rangers a couple years ago, and he watched all the ones that were on Netflix at the time.
I haven't watched Power Rangers in a long time, but I don't know, we'll see. It's funny because before I understood how Netflix works, I remember I spent however long it took back in the day to download all the Power Rangers, the original series, with my crappy internet and my crappy computer, and I didn't have the hard drive space for it. And then I saw it got put on Netflix. I'm like, oh, it's on Netflix. I don't need these anymore, and so I deleted them. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know if I'm going to keep the Power Rangers or not, because I could probably just download them now. Because those DVDs are actually worth something. So
I did
perhaps. And then I bought some more VHS. So I'm not invited on a VHS show anymore, so I have to just show it here.
I just invited myself.
Did you? Were you on the last one?
Yeah, I was on the last one.
I meant to
All
watch.
I had to do is say I had some wrestling tapes for Chris Roberts, and he's like, "Get him on here."
Hey, whatever works. I actually almost bought a wrestling tape today because I'm like, that's wrestling. But by the way, Value Village has caught on to VHS now, and they are now charging $4 a tape.
Really?
Instead of $1.99, they are now $3.99.
They should be 50 cents a tape.
They should
There's
be.
so many out there.
Yeah.
And it's not like they know what's valuable and what's not. So
no, they're just everything. Although I will notice that the ones that they consider classics, the ones that we're looking for, like if it's Star Wars, Rambo, that kind of stuff, they're marking those up maybe even like $4.99 or $5.99.
Oh, I see.
So they're catching on. Anyways, so these ones I found at a different Value Village. They were still $1.99. So I grabbed a couple. Classic Jurassic Park. And this one I bought just because I've never actually seen the VHS copy of this before. And it is a favorite.
Cars.
Back to the Future. I wish it was Cars. It has a car in it. A really cool car. Arguably a cooler car. So grab those. And then these will look somewhat familiar for you. Maybe. Found Richard Simmons, Sweating with the Oldies, number 2.
Wonder why that's
Sweating with the Oldies, number 3. And then from you, gracious donation, Sweating with the Oldies, number 1. Because I had 1, 2, and 3, and so I messaged you. I'm like, hey, do you still have that number 1 there, so I can complete the trilogy here? So, thankfully, you still had it. So,
like I said, I hope those go up in value in a few years when the movie comes out.
In a few years.
Well, they started talking about the documentary this past year, so
that's true. And then I don't know if I showed this already or not, but this is my second copy of this. I bought it again. This is my second VHS copy of this. It is the Star Wars Phantom Menace, like collector's edition.
Why?
It's not. It's actually, of the prequels, it's my favorite. I like 1 better than 2 or 3.
Still.
You don't sound impressed.
I don't hold Star Wars as high regard as everybody
no,
else
I
does.
I do like
when you do that and then you take the prequels, that's like, several notches down on my movies I would buy list.
But it's got a cool thing,
They probably made millions of those.
But the coolest part is
sold hundreds.
They have this. It comes with a booklet, right? The Art of Star Wars. It's got some cool stuff in it. But the coolest part is that it comes with actual film from the movie. They actually took the film reel and sliced
made
them
a
up.
copy of it.
Maybe.
Probably.
But there's like an actual piece of film in there. And this one has 2 of them in there. I'm not sure. The other one I only has 1.
And that's a double of the same thing.
No, they're two different ones.
Oh, I meant the thing around it is the same.
Yeah, but if you
So
look, I don't know if you can see the picture. There's
interesting.
different.
Not really, kind of.
This one's Yoda.
Okay, I thought it was his head.
Yeah, I'm trying to
We
find
need
the
a
right
light
angle here.
behind. Yeah.
Maybe. And then that one's like pod racing.
Okay.
So it's cool. It's only like 5 frames from the movie. But that's why I bought it, because it was
Did you check eBay at all?
they go for about $10 to $15. They're
Okay.
not they're not that expensive, but it is cool. I had to straight up price justify that one though, because
Mm,
they were greedy. I'll say.
I see.
Yeah. So
I can see that. It's Value Village.
yeah, it is what it is. It's better in my hands, and possibly someone else's, because it will. I don't need 2 copies of it.
No,
I
you
will
don't.
pick the best of the film frames for myself though.
Of course.
I think the other one I have is like the Chancellor talking or whatever like that. So I might
Yeah,
take
Yoda,
the
and the
one.
pod racing one are better than Chancellor talking. Yeah. Yeah.
So cool.
Well,
That's all my pickups.
I mentioned before about decorating our house for Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Have you switched
Did I tell
to
you?
Christmas now?
Yeah, the outside lights are all on Christmas, but
Mm.
we don't have any decorations outside like we do for Halloween. But we won the Halloween contest for our neighborhood.
Oh, nice.
Yay!
Hey,
We
what'd you get?
$25 gift card for Uptown Waterloo stores.
Hey, that's not bad.
So not bad.
Like a
and
lunch.
like the day after that, I was on Facebook Marketplace and somebody posted a free 12-foot skeleton
Oh.
in not Amira, no, Alora, where Fergus,
Fergus,
yes,
okay.
in Fergus. So I said, when can I pick it up?
Yeah, well, of course.
And it said it had fallen over and was damaged, and I'm like, well, whatever, we'll see. So I went and picked it up. The guy had it already half taken apart, takes it apart the rest of the way, puts it in the original box. He's got everything nicely organized and stuff. The only thing that was missing was there was a couple of ribs that broke, and the ribs were not there, and he asked his son to go look on the lawn for it, but they didn't see it. So we got it in the Highlander, just barely. Like, I put the seats down the back, and there was nothing in the back, and the box fit in perfectly.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I could have had more length, but the width, there was nothing. There was no more give there. So it's in my garage, taking up space.
You have so much room in your garage for that kind of thing.
Yeah, of course I do. Once it comes time for me to pull out my snowblower, I'm not gonna have any room for it, so it's gonna have to go where the snowblower goes in the shed out back. But I've checked out a Facebook group for owners of 12-foot skeletons, because they're so popular now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're kind of the old fad now, according to not Giant Bomb, but no, it was Giant Bomb. Anyway, so anyway, I found 3D printable replacements for the joints that were broken on it. The neck had a broken clip on it, and the arm had a broken clip on it, and 3D printed replacements for that, and that was easy. I took the plastic parts that broke, and I melted the plastic with a wood burner that I have. That's
Yep.
really just a giant soldering iron that I used to use as a soldering iron forever ago. And it looks decent the way I fixed it. It's just now missing 2 ribs that I need to
Just 3D print
replace
them.
somehow. So
3D
I
print
know,
them.
but no one has a design for it. So
Put a
anyway,
request out.
I posted on this group for the skeleton, just saying, anybody have any recommendations before I started melting the plastic? I said what I'm probably going to do, and anybody have the thoughts of how to replace these 2 ribs? And there was a couple good ideas. One was thermoplastics, where you can buy like a sheet of plastic that you heat up to mold. And that's like the kind of thing people use for cosplay costumes.
Yeah.
So I looked up that. It's pretty neat stuff, and I probably could get that off Amazon. It just looks really expensive on Amazon. Maybe I can find it somewhere else cheaper. I don't know for sure. But or there's just like build it out of a wire mesh and then cover it with E6000 or Loctite putty apparently, or there's Loctite foam or spray foam, and then mold it. There's lots of options people are giving out for ideas. So a lot of people just said leave it because it's on the left hand side, and they said just put a big heart in there instead,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and make it look like an alien pumping out of, or popping out of the chest or something like that. I'm like, neat ideas, but these ribs are also structural as well, as one of the other commenters pointed out. But I had tons of comments on that group. Lots of people with good ideas, a lot of people with terrible ideas. But yeah, so we now have a 12-foot skeleton to improve
Jeez.
our Halloween decorations. And while I was taking down some Halloween decorations outside, the neighbor came home and he said, you can use my lawn too if you want.
Have the bridge the gap.
I may have to. We'll see.
That's funny.
Yep.
Jeez. Yeah, we didn't. They didn't do much for Halloween. We just kind of put a few decorations on the front and call it a day. How did actual Halloween go?
Our kids went with my son's friend and his other friend, and the one friend has a daughter or a sister who's the exact same age as my daughter and in her class. So they went together. My wife went with them, and then one parent of one kid and one parent of the other kid, of the two
Mhm.
kids of the friends, my sons, and they had a great time. My son and my daughter just kept going and just kept going and just kept going. They wouldn't stop. They were out for like over 3 hours, and they
Yeah.
wanted to keep going, but their friends had all given up and had to go in. And their one kid's parents were just saying he has too much candy already and all this stuff. So
Yeah.
like they walked from here to those kids' house and then back to show them our house. Then they emptied two bags each of candy. And then they went out again and then came back and had just under 2 bags again. So
Oh wow.
they got
That's
too
so
much candy, and I've been eating
Yeah.
it all.
Of course. Yeah. It's kind of our job, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they don't
They,
need it all.
they forget about it and.
At least they get the things that they want or the things they haven't had before and try something new, and
Mm.
they love that part, but they don't need as much as I do.
Well, both my kids went out as Captain Toad. We managed to get their costumes together kind of like the night before. We were working on it throughout a couple of months or whatever, but then finally everything came together. Um, went out as a family because the church up the street has like a Halloween thing where you get like free hot dogs and sausages and stuff like that,
That's cool.
and they give out like quite a bit of candy to the kids there. So it's a good place
Nice.
to like we go there like right we have our dinner there and then we just go trick or treating from there.
There's a City Pizza near us, and they did the same thing, but you go there and get a free slice.
Oh,
So our
perfect.
kids did that like right after school.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great idea. It gets people in there,
Yeah.
right? So, um, yeah, we did that and then headed out. My wife went home to hand out candy because I think we're pretty sure we got ripped off last year. We put the candy out. It wasn't candy, it was
Yeah.
chips, like 2 giant boxes of chips, and they were all gone when we got back.
Oh, did you see
So
the
I'm
Mark
like,
Rober video?
I did, yes.
Okay, he did his own for everyone else. He did his own like get back at kids who steal all the candy and parents who steal all the
And
candy.
parents, yeah. There's some
Yeah.
bad parents out there too. So,
Yeah.
went out with my son's friends. They went together and some of their parents. It was a big group of kids, and it was just chaos. Just absolute chaos with like you're trying to keep track of like 10 kids, and then my one obviously my older son wants to stay with them, but my younger son is too small. He's got little legs. He can't keep up. And so everybody's running ahead and I'm trying to keep my older son back with me so I can be like I'm trying to keep my youngest up and keep my youngest moving forward, hold my oldest back, and it was turning into chaos, and I just couldn't keep track of them anymore. So finally, one one of the other ones, it turned into a bit of a hissy fit moment where my oldest just got super mad at me and started crying that he couldn't be with his friends and why all this kind of stuff, and his costume was kind of breaking a little bit, and I'm like, I kind of lost my cool as a dad. Not great when you're on the sidewalk and all these parents are walking around and yeah. But I looked at him
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
can picture
dude,
it.
I cannot fix your costume. I can't. It is broken right now and there's nothing I can do about it. So you can accept it as it is, or you can go home. Like those are the two options. I
Yeah.
can't do anything for you. So now that was me saying a little bit nicer than what I actually said. But anyways, he decided that he would accept his broken costume, but he wanted to go with his friends. And I said, all right, well, then you have to stay with. We knew one of the other parents, so I'm just like, stay with them, and then hopefully, they'll take you back. They know where we live. They live down the street from us. So it's not far. So I'm like, the PC Zares, collapsible totes.
I think so. Yes, I have
They're like
a
cloth
Costco
and
one.
cardboard. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So we had two of those they fit perfectly in the basket, so the kids could empty their stuff into that wagon and not have to carry around a giant bag of candy. So,
hmm
anyways, did that with my youngest. We just went to as many houses as we could. He was having a blast, so it is what it is. And then eventually did run into the family coming back on a different street that we didn't go down. And they saw us. And then Mike's oldest son, his bag was full and he was borrowing some other kid's bag to put stuff. So I was able, I'm like, well, here, empty all your stuff out here. And then we were able to stay together for the rest of the night. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
I
it was
stayed
good.
home as well, and my wife went out with the kids. And all the boys, or the boys that were like my son and his friends, there were like 3 boys that were around 10 years old, and the girls were younger. And apparently the boys were, my wife said, going back and forth across the street to go house to house.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, no, you go down one side and don't cross the street because it's dangerous. And then you come around, change to the other side, and come back. Like, they're going to take the same way there and back anyway.
Yeah.
But no, they didn't listen. The boys just ran ahead and wouldn't listen. And my wife's like, it was chaos. You would have gone crazy. I'm like, yes, I would have. So I stayed home and gave out candy to all of 15 or 17 kids.
I was gonna say, like, my next question is how many kids did you get? We
Yeah,
didn't get that many.
hate
I
it.
think we maybe had 15 or 20.
I wish we got more, especially like we
Yeah.
decorate. We want to see everybody to see it and enjoy. And I always hear kids say, we're coming here next year and stuff like that. And it doesn't seem to change every year. It's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Like one year we had maybe 30, but we made enough bags
Not
for
bad.
like 100 kids. I think
Yeah.
Cynthia had gluten or peanut free option. She had one that was just like bear paws for young babies, and then she had another one that was vegan, just to give options, because the one friends that were coming, or we're going with Sean, and we're going with the kids, was vegan. The boy and the girl.
Mhm.
So she figured she'd have that option for them, and then anybody else, great. But I never asked people what they were. If they were vegan or peanut free, they could tell me. And
Yeah.
when those kids even came, they didn't say anything, but I already knew that they were. So
Yeah. I only had one parent ask, anybody allergic to peanuts? And then no, that was the only one.
yeah,
So
I did.
But it
post
was
on our
crazy.
local family neighborhood group as well, saying like, "Hey, come!" And we had our normal size skeleton that Cynthia has in the house as decor. He was on the front door. Like when I opened the door, he's there with a witch hat on, candy in his face, and candy in buckets in his hands. And I took a picture of that and just said, "Everybody come to our place. We still have lots of candy left, and we've only gotten a few kids. And don't let Mr. Skeleton and me eat all the candy." And I had people respond saying they wish they knew earlier because their kid's already in bed. I'm just like, it's 7:00. Why is
Yeah,
your
you gotta-
6-year-old in bed?
You got to
Anyway.
post that like right away.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah,
I
it's-
never thought about it until way later.
yeah. Some of the houses we went up to, like, there was probably like 20 or 30 kids at one house at one time.
It's crazy.
And I was just like, I just lost my youngest. I'm like, all right, we'll go. And he would work his way up to the front and get his candy. And I'm like, I'll be right here. And he'll work his way back. But the poor like old lady trying to like hand out candy. I'm like, oh, and you just see all these zombie hands reaching out. And
That was like one of the major streets, like a normal, like busy street.
yeah, just like a regular residential street. So it's funny if we go the street behind us, it's all like individual houses, and all the houses have steps to go up to the door, and then you have to go up the steps and down the steps,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
And you're only going one at a time. But then all on our street is all like condo townhouses,
Yeah.
right? And they're all.
So you can hit a lot
So
of
to
them.
me, it's like that's the better idea. Is you hit
I
all the
know.
condo houses. You're just like one house, bing, 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 and you go all the way around.
Yep.
When we yeah, so the idea was to go like around, hit that back street, and then come back through the condo townhouses. When we did the condo townhouses, there was a couple people there, and I said, "Hey, how's the night going? How many people?" And they're like, "We've had like maybe 6." Like nobody's going to those areas.
Yeah.
And
We
so
find the
like,
same thing, especially if it's a street off of a main street, you're screwed.
yeah. But
Whereas the
that's the
main
thing is
streets in
we
our
are a main
neighborhood said
street.
they had like 140 kids.
Yeah. But that's the thing is we are a main street. Like my street is a
Yeah,
main road. And so it's the one
but
behind
they
us.
just don't go in it.
Yeah. Everyone's just like, go to the rich houses or whatever.
On that one part of your street, there's only houses on one side, though, right?
Yes, but they're all condominium complex.
True,
right?
true. So you can
And
just
they're
weave
all
into that and be good.
and they're all U-shaped. So you go up one side and down the
Yep.
other, and you just like M your way through. So
Yeah.
but yeah, we had the people there were just like giving handfuls of candy to my kids because they're like, nobody's coming here, so here, take a handful.
Yeah.
Handfuls.
After the first like 5 kids, I was like, okay, no one's coming for a long time. I think it was like already 7:30, and I'm like, okay, here's a bag and here's a full size chocolate bar. Here's a bag, here's a full size chocolate bar, like a mixed bag of stuffs that they made up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good night. We had most of the candy's gone now. I had some friends over, and I just put the box out or the whole thing out. So I'm like, here.
We still have lots left.
Yeah. Always too much.
The chips are almost gone, but the candy's still there, especially chocolate bars. There's just so much.
Yeah. All right, next on the docket.
I did not get a new car. I did go
car.
test drive a pickup truck
Okay.
and a car, but I did not buy a car. I am instead just going to fix my car
Okay.
because
What-
it's cheaper.
Well, yeah. So
Cars are not cheap right now.
what was the thought? What was the thought pattern? Why did you go and test and then change your mind? Just because of the money, or do you actually seriously considering getting a new car?
Well, so I want something that's going to be reliable. Is the reason why I'm debating on not doing mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, and I also still have some severance money left over because we spent less than we normally would while I wasn't working. So it was saving money, and some of that money could go towards a car, or we save it and put it towards something else, or we save it and put it to a card later.
Yeah.
It depends. So I just figured it'd be like $4,000 at the most or so to fix my car. It's worth, let's say, $6,500, something like that.
Yeah.
It's still worth it to fix it. Everything I read about this problem, which is head gasket leak on Subaru, it's normal at 160,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
Completely normal. It's not out of the ordinary. It's not broken. It's just normal because of the design of the engine, especially at this time, like this generation. The older ones were worse. They would leak even faster at the, I guess 120,000, I think, or so with the 2004, 2005 models, which I did have a 2003, 2002 before. I forget. No, 2001. Anyway, it should be better. I drove my car again. I'm like, okay, the battery's dead because it's been sitting for 4 months. Whatever. Yeah. That's excusable. It's also an old battery, I'm sure. So I'll get a new battery probably tomorrow, hopefully. And then the EGR valve solenoid needs to be replaced, but that's $450 or so. Easy to fix. Mm-hmm. And then there's the oil leak. So, yeah. Fix all that, and hopefully after that it is a good car again.
Yeah. So I heard you say while you were not working. So that has changed?
I'm still not working, but I have signed an offer letter to start in December.
Yeah. December. Okay.
12th.
Okay. So coming up.
Yep. So there's some time in between, and in the meantime, of course, my wife tested positive for COVID yesterday.
Perfect.
First time having COVID in the house. Her mother also tested positive.
Pretty good. Who else did? Sorry.
Her mother.
Oh, okay. So they got it from
assuming they got it together somewhere.
Okay. Client somewhere.
They do housekeep cleaning, but they also thrift together a lot. So maybe thrifting, maybe crazy bins. Who knows? So
I don't know what you mean.
But so far, I'm still testing negative, and so are the kids. So we're hopeful. She's sitting in her room by herself.
Okay, so she is isolating in the house.
She is. We weren't going to, but once we all tested negative, I'm like, okay, kids are going to school, and hopefully we all don't get it. I am sick, but I assume I have something else.
Yeah.
Because my kids had sore throats last week, and we tested my daughter, and it was negative. But then after the test sat out, a line showed up.
Hmm.
And we're like, that's weird. But it had sat out for like hours. We're like, maybe it's just a fluke. So the rest of us all tested, and my wife's did the same thing, and my daughter's did it again, where after it sat out for hours, the line showed up. Everything we read says don't believe it. If it's longer than 15 minutes, the test is not valid.
That's
also, these tests are that latest batch I've seen of tests where they're expiring in January.
Okay.
Like there's a ton of them out there. We just were at some store, I forget, and they had a bunch of tests sitting there, and they were all expiring the same date in January. So I think there's a lot of tests that are expiring then. So maybe it's that, because I do see splotchiness even after the test sits for a while. You see a bit of gray splotchiness on the test like area that I never used to see before.
Strange.
So I'm assuming they're getting old, but
Yeah.
we could ask our buddy Musty. He's an expert in that subject, I believe, because his company was one of the ones that made that chemical that it tests in. But
He doesn't listen to this though, so.
no, he doesn't. And he doesn't read any messages or anything like that, as far as I know, either. So.
Oh, Musty.
So I got a job. The job is at the company I worked at before my last job.
Okay, so you went back.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. A different team, a different manager. So hopefully
Different
all good.
position?
Different. Technically a lower position than I was at
Oh.
before.
Okay.
Yes. Because there was nothing open higher up. So, yes.
Yeah. But it leaves the door open for if something does come available.
Yeah, and the manager fought for me to get higher pay than they usually pay for that role because he knows I have the experience, so
Okay.
that's good. And I also know him from previous job, and I know a whole bunch of people that work there. Like I did my interview and I knew the meeting room he was in. He had one of his people from his team who's a more technical person come on, and I knew her from when I worked there before.
Yeah. Cool.
She's like, I
That's
recognize you. And then I met with the what was he? I can't remember. Anyway, some higher up of customer support as the like final meeting or interview thing to make sure I fit. And he said the same thing. He's like, I recognize you. Because I left there 4.5 years ago. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, good. Well, congratulations. I think everyone is happy to hear that you got a job, and
Yeah.
it's a bit of stress relief off of your shoulders.
A little bit. I mean, it'll be better when I actually start, but
Mm-hmm.
when I get an email from the background check company today being like, can you just confirm the dates that you worked at your last job? I'm like, I gave you my record of employment. You don't need anything. They literally asked for a record of employment, and it's sitting there attached in their document. Whatever. These companies are dumb.
I don't understand how these companies. So, this isn't related to your job, but we're renewing our mortgage. It's going to go in effective in like 2 days.
That's a terrible time to do it. But
It's a really, really bad time to do it, but we don't have a choice, unfortunately.
I have 3
but
more
same
years,
thing.
thankfully.
The same thing with like the mortgage company is like our mortgage agent sends us all the paperwork that we sign electronically and send back, and then the company has to send a representative to our house so we can physically sign them. They can watch us sign them. They have to have ink on paper.
Okay.
So we do that. And then later they're just like, oh, we need your information about this. I'm like, but you have it. You have it 2 times already. We sent it to you electronically. Your person came here and we signed it in front of them. And now you're asking for it again. I'm like, how are you allowed to do this? But if we don't have the paperwork, we're the ones who get screwed. We don't get a mortgage.
Yeah. Yeah. But you still get my interest.
Exactly. So.
And probably commission.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. For the record, it's not our mortgage broker that's the issue. It is like the mortgage people
Company
that he's
behind
dealing
it.
with. Our mortgage broker is like on it. We send him something, like even at 10 o'clock at night, he answers immediately. And he's just like, yep, here you go, blah, blah, blah. The guy doesn't take time off. Great. But very, 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 very thorough. He even sent us a thing, because here's the other thing the bank can do. The bank that we're currently with versus the new bank. The new bank sends, stuff to the old bank to say, hey, we're taking the mortgage, we're paying off the mortgage, and we're taking whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
If the old bank just decides, we're not going to respond until after the mortgage is renewed.
Of course, yeah.
They were like, okay, well then you're gonna get hit. Then I get hit with the late fees
Of course.
because they've just decided not to do anything about it, and then I have to pay their extra 1 month of their inflated continuation because I haven't signed a mortgage from them. They're just getting a continuation at the new rates, whatever they choose to do. So I have to pay a month with them, plus the late fees, plus the blah 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 blah. Yeah,
Yeah, because they can.
yeah, because they can, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
Even a mortgage broker said, yeah, sometimes they're just dicks like that because they can be. So. And
Yay,
then
banks.
we even said, we're like, what can we do about it? He's just like, well, you could take them to court, but what are you gonna do? Like,
Yeah.
the
There are
courts just
15
don't
lawyers
care.
versus your one lawyer.
Yeah, well, they just don't care. Like to them, it's nothing, right? To them, it's gonna be like whatever, $1,000, $1,500. But for some people,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, even for me, to just be like, just to give away for no reason because they were late.
That's a mini bike and a half.
Exactly. That's too many bikes at my rate.
I was telling you before we got on here, I bought some Doritos and got Game Pass Ultimate on the Doritos for 1 month. So that's expiring in 2 days. So I was trying to get some stuff in to play. Early on, when I activated that, I played some Pressure Washing Simulator.
Yeah.
That was a good time. I wish I
you
could have
beat
got some multiplayer. No, of course not. I only did like 3 or 4 levels of it. And then I played some Grounded, which I've wanted to try.
I've heard of it.
Neat, frustrating. I really wish there was better tutorial stuff or teaching you or more intuitive or something, because it's complicated considering how little they tell you. But I put time into that, but not a ton. Like I think I did it like last Thursday or something like that. And then I started playing SnowRunner, which is by the same people who made Mud Runner, which by the same people who made Spin Tires.
Yeah.
So I bought Spin Tires years ago and loved that and played it multiplayer with my brother and some friends. I think played it too. I can't remember now who else I played it with. But SnowRunner is just the next one of those, and it's great. I'm having a lot of fun with it. They've definitely made it better compared to the old one, where there's like a ton of missions. Like it's like go here and get this supplies like lumber and take it here. The old game was just lumber, and now they have like bricks from this other place, and they have concrete slabs, and they have all kinds of things, consumables from the farm and all this stuff, and you gotta like transport all around. But in the process of doing that, one of the things will like unlock a new road you can take to shorten your path to get to the next thing. Okay. Or you'll go to an area to get to unlock something, you'll get a new truck. There hasn't been as many trucks as I expected. Like on the old one, every time you played a new map, there was like 3 trucks there. But in this one, I've only gotten 4 trucks total.
Okay.
But there are some other truck vehicles on the map that you fix and fix up 4 people as part of a mission. So yeah. Anyway, I was playing that today again. I'm trying to play that more. If you and I get done at a reasonable time tonight, I'm going to play it more. We'll see.
I am reasonable time. Couch. What are you talking about? Reasonable time.
I am sleeping on the couch because my wife is sleeping in the bed, nice and comfy with her COVID.
My wife is also sick. I've been sleeping on the couch for the past 2 days, but now I'm kind of getting sick, so I might just suck it up and go to bed tonight.
Yeah, we were both just sick, and we just thought we were both sick. But then she did a COVID test, and she's like, it's positive. And then I did one, and it was negative, so...
Worked out.
Yeah.
Well, I've also been playing games. Hard to believe. I got the new Mario Wonder. I have it, but I can't do anything with it yet because it's a Christmas gift. For you or for your kids?
For my kid. My son.
Oh, okay. It's good. It's fun. It's crazy. It is literally Mario on drugs. Like he goes like a fever dream, and not that I've done drugs, but the stereotypical drugs. So it's fun. It's hard. It's for kids, but also not for kids.
I heard that. I think Giant Bomb was where I heard that again.
Okay.
Either that or Easy Allies.
What I'm used to with Mario is like, oh, if he can't do a jump, I pick him up and I do the jump and then I drop him. Whereas that's not an option. I can't interact with him. Like we don't touch each other, which is the annoying thing, which we'll get back to later.
Yeah.
That can be annoying, but also can be helpful in some ways.
Yep.
So basically, what happens is if he can't make the jump, I have to just do the jump. He has to basically heal himself so that he becomes a bubble. Then he can come over to my side, and then I touch him, and then he comes back.
So there is no force bubble button anymore.
There's no force bubble. It's just
That's
you
annoying.
have to go off. Actually, I don't know if there's a force bubble. We actually never tried. He just like would just jump off a cliff and then, or jump on a hole and become a bubble. We haven't gotten very far. We're only on like level or world 3 or 4, so not super far. So I've only been playing with him. I haven't played on my own account. I played like the first world on my account, but every time we're gonna play, I just jump on with him, and so it's his file that's getting the progress, not mine. Some of the levels on there are pretty hard, actually. One he was actually getting frustrated because it's a musical level where you have to time your jumps based on when the platforms appear.
Okay.
And they appear in time with the music, so you have to, jump, bing, 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 bing. And if your timing is a little bit off, all of a sudden the platform's gone from underneath you, and it speeds up as you go. So that was hard. The one time we did it, I think I did like 12 or 15 times, and my oldest is only 6. He hasn't quite figured out how to control his emotions yet, so he just starts crying because of like we're never gonna finish this. We're never gonna finish this. But we have a rule though, is like if you cry about video games, then video games get turned off, right? You're not allowed to cry in video games.
Yes.
So
no
he still hasn't quite figured that out. Yeah, you don't cry in baseball. You just keep going, right? So he still hasn't. He knows that if he cries, we're gonna turn it off, but he still cries about video games. So, and my youngest is now starting to figure out that rule now. He doesn't really play video games, but he was playing it yesterday. He played for all of like 5 minutes and got frustrated and started crying. So I just walked up and just turned it off. I'm like, you don't cry in video games. You don't get to play them. So it'll take some time. But anyways, after a couple of days, I think I just went back in. I'm like, here, let me try this again. And I got it second try. So I think my Meat Boy and N+ skills really helped, because it wasn't, once I got it in, mind you, when we were doing it together, so the camera is kind of being held back by the second player, by the bubble, because he wouldn't join in. So when I went by myself, the camera was better. I could see further ahead, and then it wasn't an issue. So
yeah, I can picture that. This bubble in the new one, is it actually bubble or is it something different?
I forget. I don't.
Because there's one that says become a ghost, float.
It's a ghost. Sorry, it's a ghost. Yeah, he becomes a ghost.
So L and R is what it says.
Oh, you can just force ghost?
Yeah. Become a ghost. L and R.
All right. I'll have to do that.
I remember that being possible in the old game. I think it was actually the same buttons, I think.
Okay. That could be easy.
There you go. Yeah.
And then to go off of that, he all of a sudden he's decided he wants to play Yoshi's Woolly World.
Oh.
Normally he wants to play that with my wife. Like she loves that game. They've only been playing like the first world. They can't really get further than that. My wife is not a gamer, so I don't hold it against her.
I do like that game.
So I had to jump in at a couple times and just get them through. But this is where the opposite is true of, oh, we wish we could interact with each other sometimes. Yeah, it is frustrating because we're both standing beside each other. Well, not even like that part's fine, because if something's hard, I can suck him up and I can throw him across or up somewhere where we can reach, that kind of thing. So that's good.
Yeah.
The worst part is when we're both standing on an edge waiting for a moving platform to come over, and then he's behind me, and then he decides he's gonna go before I'm ready to go, and as he walks forward, he pushes me off the edge, and then I die.
Oh, okay. See, my son would do this. This is the one where you have the eggs, right?
Yeah,
you can suck up
the
eggs
yarn balls
and
behind
spit
you.
them,
Yeah,
but you can also suck up each other and spit just like the yarn balls.
Yeah.
So he would just suck me up and spit me off a cliff.
Oh, okay.
Over and over, or into a bad guy, and I can't do anything, and then I lose all my eggs because he sucked me up. They go to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
So we're getting through it. He's also starting to learn like a bit of strategy, because he'll just go in and destroy everything. And I'm like, dude, like we have to destroy some of this, but now we can't get up to that platform because you've destroyed all the platforms. You have to destroy it enough to make staircase to get up.
Yep.
That kind of thing. So he's starting to figure it out. Same thing with like when we're playing Mario 3D World, he just run and kill all the enemies. I'm like, but we need the enemy to destroy that block, and now we can't. so we can't get all the stars, and so yeah, we're getting there.
Great.
Yeah.
I haven't played any other games that I
Oh,
remember.
okay.
Except Fortnite. My son and I've been playing Fortnite like crazy. He's obsessed. My video card on my computer is set up with the NVIDIA software that records highlights. So when you get a kill or you get eliminated or you win a match. And I showed my son this to show him some of my like cool kills, and he's like, "Can we make a YouTube channel?" So we did. Yeah.
Fortnite highlight reel channel.
Pretty much. Yep. Nice. It's called Gamer Dorks.
Gamer Dorks. Go subscribe, everybody.
Yeah. Dorks though. Has to have dorks. I sat there trying to think of something for a while, and he kept trying to get Fortnite in, and I'm like, everything Fortnite will be taken.
Fort Dorks. Don't worry about it. Fort Dorks. Yeah. Come on. Fort Dorks.
Fortnite Dorks.
No, just Fort Dorks.
Yeah, we build military forts.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I actually played and beat a game.
Fortnite?
Not Fortnite. And I did it all in one night. Actually, I did it in about an hour.
Was it a handheld game?
No, it was a Wii U game that I believe, I forget, either you sent me the link for, or you got it for me. I forget what it was. Anyways.
I can't remember. Well, I don't know. Okay.
Hello Kitty Cruiser.
Oh, yeah. I got that for you. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had some friends over the one night, and we were playing something. I think we were playing Mario Maker. My son wanted to make Mario Maker levels for them to play. And so
that's funny.
They were not very good levels, but we kind of we appeased him and he was happy. And then he went to bed. We played a little bit longer. I'm like, all right, we can play something else. And I was just like, I was trying to think, I'm like, what's the dumbest game we can play right now? And I just looked at it and I'm like, oh, there it is. Hello Kitty Cruisers. Put it in.
Picked it up for you in 2020.
Just went through the whole game. We did the adventure mode, and then we went to the tournament mode to unlock all the characters and all the vehicles. Yeah, that's a game. That's a game, all right. It's not a very good game, but it's a game.
I had that game exactly the same. I think from the same reseller in the past, 2018, and I picked it up for Seiji from Bonus Barrel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he got one the exact same as yours.
That's
from
funny.
The same guy, I'm pretty sure. The guy changed his Kijiji name, but I'm pretty sure it was the exact same guy. He pretty much always has them for sale. I think he probably went and bought a whole bunch at EB Games one time and just been selling them for years now.
Yeah, that's funny. Does he still have them?
Probably. I think I saw the ad 3 months ago, 2 months
ago.
Oh,
really? Okay.
Yeah, pretty sure.
That's funny. So, it would be fun to play as like a, I don't know, if there was like a charity stream, I'd put that as like the goal. I'm like, get enough money and I'll play Hello Kitty Cruisers.
Yeah.
The physics are not great. It's kind of like Diddy Kong Racing, where you have cars, boats, and planes, and each vehicle handles differently. They have different courses. The boat is abysmal. It is so slippery, slidey, and they have, so I think it's for the adventure mode. They have certain objectives. So like collect as many apples as you can before time runs out. So it's like one course and it's just collect the apples. One is collect all the cupcakes. So you have to go around the course grabbing all the cupcakes. The problem is on a boat, you have to, unless you're looking directly at it, you're going to go right beside it. Like you just swing wide and go all over the place.
Oh, okay.
So it is not very intuitive. But anyways, we did get through it. It's not hard by any means. It's just annoying.
I no longer see it for sale. That counts
okay.
For anything. I have the guy's phone number though.
Call him and see if he's got more. The game's not worth much anymore, probably. Not as much.
Yeah.
Not though. It was going for like 200 at one point, I think.
Yeah, and he had them sealed too. Was yours sealed? I don't remember.
No, it was open.
Okay.
I remember holding that game in microplay, brand new, for $20. I remember picking it up. I took a picture of it. I think it's on my Twitter feed somewhere. I'm just like, this has got to be the strangest like $20 you'd spend on the Wii U, and I should have bought it right then and there, and scooped up for the price. But
yeah, but you don't know.
You never know.
I'm surprised Funky.
And I wasn't even looking. I wasn't even thinking about Wii U collecting at that point. So
yeah, for sure. Monkey Barn has gone down in price, I think. Yeah. It's only $26 complete now.
I think I bought it for 30.
I've sold one on eBay for 45 after fees.
Okay.
I bought it at EB Games in Barrie for $18.88.
There you go.
It wasn't new, it was used, but pretty sure that was at one of the Barrie Game Exchanges. I went to EB Games.
Just happened to go to a
there it
GameStop.
Yeah. Yep.
Whatever works.
Well, I watched a bunch of things.
All right. Did you?
Yeah. First thing was Shrinking.
Okay.
Did we talk about it or not? I don't remember if you talked about it.
I don't think so. I don't think it doesn't sound familiar.
So Jason Segel.
This is the one with
and
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
The TV show,
It was-
right? That's
Yes, it's a TV series, but I think it was on Apple.
okay.
Yeah, Apple TV. It was good. Better than I expected. I'm glad it wasn't just throw these two people together and, get a popular series. They actually put effort into it, and it was pretty good. I can't even remember. I was going to write notes about it, but I did not write notes about it. But, yeah, basically Jason Segel's wife had passed away, and he's, like a therapist, but he's mentally not there anymore because he's depressed from his wife being away, and he's a therapist, so you should know what's wrong and how to fix it and all that stuff, but he just can't and doesn't talk to his daughter anymore and all this stuff. So it's basically the story of him working through all his problems, with Harrison Ford being like his mentor, basically.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's strange to see Harrison Ford in a TV show.
Yeah.
I don't think he's done that before.
It sounded like, when I remember hearing about this show a long time ago, it took them some convincing to get him to do it. Probably for that reason, right? TV is the new thing, right?
Yeah, and
last,
for
like, 5
his
years or
generation,
whatever.
TV was like, you were a movie star or you were a TV star, but you didn't.
Yeah.
You never crossed over. It was one or the
Yep.
other.
And if you're a movie star, why would you bother doing TV?
Yeah, you don't go back to TV. You can move up to movies, but you never go back to TV, right? Like
He was good in it. I think at the beginning maybe he wasn't maybe the pilot or something like that. I don't remember for sure, but he didn't feel as involved or as there. But it could also have been his character was kind of already distanced, so maybe that's part of the reason why. But anyway, it was good. You have more? You have stuff? You want to talk about more stuff?
I have some, but I don't have a ton.
I have a ton.
All right. We'll reverse roles from last month where I said.
So I started watching just because it was on Netflix, I think, wasn't it? Or it was on my Plex, I guess. Anyway, Tron Uprising, maybe it was Disney Plus. Anyway, we started watching that with my kid because
Is that the animated one?
Yeah, it is, and Elijah Wood does the main voice. I realized after we started watching it. Okay. It seems decent. We haven't gotten enough into it. I think we've only watched 2 episodes, maybe 3. So
I do love Tron, so I should check that out.
Yeah. It seems decent to me. Like, it's got all the nostalgia that you want. The music and the feel of it and the look of it.
That's all I want. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like the story so far is decent.
Have you watched the movies with him? Does he get the references or no? Or
No, not at all.
Okay.
They kept asking me questions like, who's that guy and who's the bad guy and Yeah.
Just try watching the first one and see how it goes.
I have no idea how it is with kids. It's probably fine, but I don't remember.
It's not like, I wouldn't say it's violent or it's not gory or swearing or anything like that. So
like in the show, the first time someone died, my daughter's like, did he just die? Because they just kind of disappear, right? I'm like, well, he's a computer program. He's not a real person. So he's not dying. He's being deleted. Like
he's deleted, yeah. That's the same thing. It's in the same thing in the original movie that you get deleted, right?
That's what I figured. But there was a real person in the
yeah, it's a real
TV
person
series.
in like a digital.
So it's like
suit.
he has a risk of being killed, I think.
Okay.
Because I think they asked me that too. What happens if a real person's in the game and dies? I'm like, I don't know. You die in real life, I think. I also, since I don't remember why I came across this, but I watched the Willow series.
Oh, okay. You must have got that in your Plex because it got deleted from Disney.
Yes, it did. So when it got deleted, I immediately went and tried to download it, and it was easy to get.
I thought the same thing. Yeah.
So like 2 months ago, I watched Willow the movie, And I'm like, okay, I gotta watch the series now because that's the whole reason why I watched the movie was to finally catch up to watch the series. And I found the series not bad. I don't know why it was canceled. My assumption is that their thought was everybody who's going to see it has already seen it. Let's just cut our losses and get rid of it and make it an
It
expense.
can't.
Right?
I don't, for a company like Disney, it doesn't really make sense to get rid of it off the service. That doesn't make sense to me.
My assumption is once it first came out, their watches, like their views went way up and then it dropped off hard. And they're like, okay, now it's no longer making us money. Let's just consider it a loss. And maybe it was super expensive and that's why. I don't know for sure. But
Yeah.
I did notice that in it, there are some like modern remakes of old songs, and I kind of enjoyed that. One was Enter Sandman, another was Black Hole Sun, and there was Crimson and Clover. Just neat sounding remakes of old songs. I liked that. I thought it was worth noting. And there was also some really bad acting in it still, but I'm not surprised because it seemed to get better, I think, or I just got used to it. I'm not sure which one. Speaking of terrible, I don't remember what day this was, but it was like a few weeks ago. I was like, okay, reading job postings. I'm going to do something in the background while I do it. So I fired up the movie called Bounty Killer from 2013.
I'm not familiar
It's
with
like a bad Mad Max knockoff, but with hitmen kind of thing. So it's a post-apocalyptic. Basically the corporate greed has become so bad that government was abolished because of companies. So now companies basically rule the world and people are all poor. And then this group of 9, I think it was 9 people, got together and made rules and started putting up contracts for killing corporate people. So then bounty killers became a thing where they're bounty hunters for kills and they bring in bodies to get money for killing corporate people to stop corporations basically. And that's as deep as the story goes basically.
Okay.
Gary Busey's in it as well.
Oh, perfect.
He's the only like person in this that I even know at all. I don't know if anybody else is popular or not, but I'm not going to pretend they are or look into if they are because it's not worth it. Basically, the cover is a pair of boobs and a guy that hunts people. So
perfect.
That's the movie. And also the CG was really bad. It's a couple times like really bad. Like they tried to animate a car driving across a bridge or something right near the beginning, I think it was. And it was just so terrible. Like those cheesy, bad, we don't even care if it looks good type CG. Anyway, that was Bounty Killer from 2013.
That's funny.
You want to keep going? What you got?
Sure. Yeah, keep going.
All right. I also watched In Time.
Justin Timberlake.
2011. Justin Timberlake.
I actually like that movie.
It was pretty good. I liked it. Yeah. I don't know where I heard of it, why it was on my watch list. Like every time someone tells me about movies, I kind of just add them to an IMDb watch list and hopefully get to them someday. So this was one of them, and I did, and I'm glad I did. It was fun.
I like the concept. I just like the concept.
Yeah, I like the concept. The movie itself wasn't bad. Sometimes it felt a little hokey or a little forced or predictable. I almost feel like they should do more in that world, but I don't know if they can at this point. But
it kind of feels played out.
Yeah, a little bit. Like unless you did, I don't know.
You have to find a new gimmick.
Like how they got there, or someone else trying to do the same thing somewhere else, or I don't know. Anyway, and then because of Elijah Wood and our conversations about Elijah Wood, I tried watching an Elijah Wood movie, but unfortunately, I picked Maniac from 2012.
I don't think I know that one.
It's not good.
It was not good. Okay, I got that from the unfortunately.
Yeah, so he's good, but just the premise and the whole thing was just it's like it's trying to be a serial killer horror thriller type thing, and it's just not good. So he is, as he helps a young artist with her upcoming exhibition, the owner of a mannequin shop's deadly suppressed desires come to the surface is the like beginning thing. The movie starts out kind of like first person in his view as he basically murders somebody, but it doesn't. I don't find it does a good job explaining stuff, but I'm sure it's just trauma. Blah blah blah. It was bad. But it's Elijah Wood, so I had to give it a try.
I had to give it a try, of course.
Yeah, I don't know why this one came on my list. I don't know if it's just because I was going through Elijah Wood movies and I'm like, sure. But yeah, nope, don't recommend. Maniac from 2012 is what that was.
So how do you pick your movies off your watch list? You just randomize it or just look at it and decide?
So one thing is the watch list is added to a download server that automatically downloads things it adds into Plex.
Okay.
So if it's available and added to that, downloaded, then put in Plex, then it's in Plex when I'm looking for something to watch. And usually when I'm looking at Plex trying to figure out something to watch, it's like scrolling through what's recently downloaded, or I'll go with what's most highly rated that I haven't watched.
Okay.
And see what comes up. So that's kind of how I came across some of them, was just it just recently downloaded, or I've always meant to watch some of them, like Willow series. In Time was that, where it's like, oh, I don't remember about this movie, but it's got Justin Timberlake and it looks like it's decent quality, like good production, right? So yeah. I gave that one a try. Whereas with Bounty Killer, it was like, all right, this recently downloaded. I have no idea why someone recommended I watch this. Probably because it's so hokey. But I don't need to pay attention to it because I'm doing something else, so I can throw that on in the background. Once I started Maniac, I felt the same way about it too.
Throw it on the side.
Yeah. So, sorry. I also watched 1989's Black Rain.
Ah, Michael Douglas.
Yeah, you just talked about watching this.
I just talked about it not that long ago. Yeah, I watched it when camping in August.
Yes, that's what it was. For my notes for it, I wrote as expected.
Which means what?
It's exactly what I expected it to be. 2 cops arrest a Yakuza member and must escort him when he's exiled to Japan. That's the description. And I always knew it was like, they have to go to Japan and he's in Japan, fish out of water type thing. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't expect his partner to be like a recognizable person that I recognize, but Andy Garcia. Yeah.
Andy Garcia. Yeah.
And, but other than that, yeah, pretty much what I expected for the most part.
Yeah, I was taken by surprise with that movie. For some reason, looking at the cover of it, it looks like a neo-noir movie, kind of like Blade Runner-esque. And that's what I expected. Yeah. That's what I
did expect futuristic when I first heard about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also has him like riding motorcycles in the beginning and stuff, and that really has nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
No, it doesn't.
I was just
really
like, oh yeah, he's gonna get into a biker gang or something in Japan. Or I was waiting for the biker thing to kick in, but it just never came.
No, it turned more into like
just a cop.
I don't even know, like True Lies, almost like that kind of stuff. Yeah, not in a bad way. Yeah,
not a bad movie though. Still good.
Yeah.
You don't see Michael Douglas in like an action role very often. So.
I also watched Uncut Gems.
Oh, the Safdie brothers.
Sure,
they directed it.
It's got Adam Sandler. I don't know.
Okay.
Clearly not a normal role for Adam Sandler. I felt
that
was neat that he was in a different type of role. Obviously, like I felt like you should hate his character. Pretty much.
He's not a likable character, of course.
Yeah. No, it's like you're supposed to feel bad for him. You almost feel like it at first, but then it's like no, he just keeps. And then it's like sometimes he has the right idea, or he thinks he's gonna be, getting lucky or winning it big, and then just nothing works out for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it wasn't at all what I expected. Just hearing the name and that Adam Sandler was in it several times, right? Because I never looked up what it was about. And even when you talked about it, I still was kind of like, okay, I'll watch it eventually, right? Yeah, but I didn't.
I actually do like that movie. I haven't watched it since the first time I watched it. It's not a movie that you can watch very often. It is.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say a hard watch, but it's, it's hard to put into words.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost everything going wrong for him kind of thing makes you feel bad for him, and you can't watch that too many times.
It's more anxiety inducing. There's a lot of anxiety. It's an anxious movie.
And I think it's shot that way,
Yeah.
right? Like kind of quick, fast cuts and head cam and stuff like that, following him, shit like that.
So that's the same thing from like last month when I talked about Good Time, which is their previous movie
Oh,
from
okay.
2017. Same kind of deal. And it's just like very, fast paced, quick cuts, very frantic, anxiety inducing, same kind of.
Okay, yes, I remember you talking about this with the brother and yeah. I don't know why I didn't add that to my list, or did I? And it already downloaded. I don't know. Anyway, I also watched Frequently Asked Questions About Time Travel
I don't know.
from
That's-
2009.
okay.
It has Chris O'Dowd. I don't know.
Chris
Dowd.
O'Dowd?
Anyway, Dowd. Yes, O'Dowd. So he's the guy from the IT Crowd. It also has, what is her name? Anna Faris.
Okay.
And it also has Meredith McNeil from Baroness von Sketch. She's one of the women in that. And she's also on, what's the other sketch show she's on? The one in the UK. Oh, I thought it was called like Sketch, but I can't remember. Anyway, I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, she's funny and she's not in it much. But what's her name? The other one is the blonde from Scary Movie. Anna Faris is in it quite a bit.
Okay.
And it's basically Chris O'Dowd and his two buddies accidentally discover time travel. And they're nerds, so they love it. But then also they realize how uncontrollable it is. And, while drinking at their local pub, three social outcasts attempt to navigate a time travel conundrum is the plot line. It was fun. I liked it. It was better than I expected. What else? I didn't write any other notes except who's in it. Yeah,
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I don't know where I heard about it either, but I think it's just one that I've always heard of as a sci-fi type, fun movie.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Anna Faris was in it. Not gonna lie, at one point I kind of was like obsessed with her, but that was short-lived. Yeah. I was just like, she's cute and she's funny. That's awesome.
Yeah. Perfect. That's all you
Yeah.
need.
Exactly. Yep.
Great.
It was fun. It was a fun movie. Then again, this is the random stuff that comes up. I was looking at Plex under the movies that Plex has for free.
Oh,
with
okay. Yeah,
ads,
they actually do have a lot of cool movies on there.
which is kind of like what Tubi is.
Yeah.
And I came across 2021's VR Fighter. It's worse than you think. I don't know if there's famous martial arts people in here. I assume there is. However, it was a weird dub. It looks like they're speaking English, but their voices are off. It could just be Plex's version or something weird like that, but it was weird. And there was also times where they were definitely speaking Chinese and they would do subtitles for it, which is fine. But again, it looked like they were speaking English or something weird. I don't know what it was, but anyway, this guy is, I didn't say, after his wife's death, professional bodyguard went overseas to find doctors for his daughter, but instead found a job as a virtual reality tester.
Sounds
So I was like, martial arts and VR, I gotta watch it. And it was on in the background mostly, but it was funny, not great, but funny. Actually, it looks like it's streaming on Plex and Tubi.
That's funny.
Yep.
Yeah, I just looked at the
5
cast
out
and
of
there's nobody
10.
that I know.
Okay. The main guy looks familiar for some reason, but I don't know why.
Yeah, I can't place him. Funny.
Yeah. Oh, IP Man. He's an IP Man. Ip Man.
Oh. Okay.
And Ip Man 2 and Ip Man Legend Reborn. Which I've seen a long time ago, the first one at least.
Oh, he's in
Like
Rikio.
2008.
The Story of Ricky. You should watch Rikio, by the way.
Story of Ricky.
The Story of Ricky.
Oh. 1991. Is he the main character in that too?
I don't remember. I don't
Yes,
think
he is.
he is.
He's
Yeah,
top cast.
He is. I was just
All
looking at the
right.
picture of him. Yeah, it's him. That's him.
Random stuff. He's in a lot of stuff though.
Definitely watch
80
Story of
movies.
Ricky.
Okay. That's added to my list.
Not around your kids though. Holy. No.
No, I don't. I don't watch any of these around my kids.
don't.
All right, I have one more non-cage thing.
All right. Go for it. You
All
might
right,
as well
I
finish it
watched
off, and then I'll go on.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yeah.
First time I remember, I think I've ever watched that movie in one sitting, or
Okay.
without like TV edits or
Interruptions.
whatever it is. I don't know why I've never seen it before, but it's a great movie.
It's
Just overall,
fantastic.
the first movie set it up so good.
Yeah.
And this is from me who never had nostalgia for it, really, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
some movies are just like that. The first time you watch it, even as a new movie, or as an old movie, as a new person watching an old movie,
it's rare. It's rare, though.
very rare. Yeah. But that one just
So
perfect.
tons of action, good locations, like lots of locations and recognizable type things. Like
Good set pieces.
yeah, that's and then the story is decent, right? Like it carries through from the first movie, and then
It plays
they
on your
trick you.
expectations from the first movie.
Yeah, they trick on you at the first movie because I already know what the thing is, right?
Yeah.
I already know about Arnold, so it didn't catch me, but I saw how it would have caught people.
Yeah.
Not only Sarah Connor, but people watching. Yeah, and the actors and the characters, and it was just good. I was pleasantly surprised that it lived up to expectations, basically.
Yeah.
If not even better than expectation.
Yeah. It's fantastic. James Cameron really knew how to put a movie together back then.
Not anymore.
I don't know. You watch Avatar and you tell me.
I've been avoiding watching Avatar too.
I've heard good things, but I haven't got there yet.
Did you watch the first one?
I did.
And?
I've seen it a few times. It's good. It's fine.
It's a movie. That's what I say.
Pocahontas. It's Pocahontas.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So, actually, speaking of Avatar, I ordered new 3D glasses after last episode. I said I was going to buy new ones, so I did actually buy new ones.
I saw some on Facebook I was going to send you, but I'm like, what are the chances of the right ones?
Yeah, that's the thing. So they're so picky. So, anyways, I bought some off of eBay. They took 2 weeks to get here, but they work great. And so I spent a night just kind of going through all my 3D movies on Plex, just kind of checking them out. And I did watch a decent bit of Avatar, the first bit of it in 3D, just to test them out, take them for test runs. So, yeah, it's pretty good.
Cool. I do still want to see if these ones that are on Facebook are right, but
Pardon?
Yeah.
I do.
I still want to see if these ones on Facebook
okay.
are the right ones or not, but
We'll do that.
the first person doesn't have any pictures of them, the model number and stuff. But yes, not for now.
I need to get some more 3D glasses for my PlayStation TV. That's what I got to do. If you find more of those, let me know.
I have one of those.
I'll buy that one from you.
Maybe you should. TV anytime soon.
I got to replace the.
I changed the battery in it.
I was gonna say I have to replace the batteries in mine because I don't think it works anymore. So. And I don't think you
know
can.
what battery to get.
True. I don't think you can actually put in more or connect more than 2 glasses at a time. I can't remember.
Wouldn't surprise me. Because it's active, so it has to have a connection with it.
Yeah, it's an active connection between the 2. Well, same with my TV, but my TV can do. I don't think I haven't hit the limit. I use 4 regularly, or did. So, 4 at least. But because the PlayStation TV is a lot smaller, and it's meant for the multiplayer full screen aspect.
Yeah.
Where there's only 2 players, so
you could do 4 in GoldenEye.
All right. Well, when we recorded last, it was just before Halloween. So I decided to watch
before Christmas.
Exactly, right? So I got a head start on one of those too. Just for
good. I didn't.
reasons.
I meant to.
Okay. So in this episode, I'm gonna hit both. I'm gonna hit Chris. I'm gonna hit Halloween. I'm gonna hit Christmas.
No American Thanksgiving in there.
No American Thanksgiving. No. I don't watch Thanksgiving movies. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is like the only exception.
Yeah, I have to watch that in one sitting too. I've never seen it all in one sitting either.
That's good. Good one. Anyways, so Halloween night. I did say I was gonna watch a movie, but I decided to watch something else because I came home after kids went to trick-or-treating, whatever, and I was like, all right, wife, we're watching a scary movie. And I gave her an option. I'm like, we can watch this or we can watch this. The 2 options were Silence of the Lambs or The Exorcist.
I've
She
never
does
seen either
not
one
like
of those in one sitting either.
she does not like scary movies at all, right? Like she's not, and I'm just like, well, we got to do one. You can pick which one. So she picked The Exorcist because she did
Okay.
actually talk about maybe wanting to watch it last year. We
Okay.
never did, and so this year we did it as well. So, uh,
My wife would have also picked that because she grew up on The Exorcist and Chucky and Halloween.
okay,
Those are like the movies her parents would put on in the background and not even think about the fact that there's kids there. And their parents didn't even freaking watch it. It was just on.
yeah,
But also my wife hates anything police investigation related for some reason. She
really,
just can't stand that type of movie. So she would
huh.
hate Silence of the Lambs.
I was like, it's actually done well in Silence of the Lambs, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's fair. Anyway, yeah, Exorcist, good. My wife was uncomfortable at some points. Again, it is from like 1973, so I I still think some of the effects hold up. It is still disturbing in some areas. I think I talked about this on the podcast before. It's not the first time.
Probably, possibly. I don't remember.
But seeing it from her side of the view, I appreciate it more now seeing it for a second time, knowing what's coming. I can I can see some other things. So it was good. It's definitely placed more in realism than I expected. Like a lot of it's just um like movies nowadays would be person has problem, they try one thing to fix the problem, that doesn't work, so you go to what the main thing is of the movie. So like say you get to the doctor once, doctor says, I don't know. And it's just like, all right, gotta do exorcism, right? Like whereas in this one it's like 3/4 of the movie is her trying different things.
Oh.
Like she's going to every doctor, she's going to every specialist and scientist
I
trying to
didn't
figure
realize that.
out. Yeah, which in my mind makes sense. Even my wife was just like, "Why is this taking so long for the exorcism to happen?" I'm just like, again, a different time. It shows the realism. What would you do as a mother if your daughter was sick and self-harming and whatever and couldn't
Mm-hmm.
control themselves? I'm like, they're trying to put you in the perspective of the parent. Like, what would you do? You wouldn't just,
Which makes the impact more.
yeah, you make, she is at her wit's end. She's tried all these things and they're all telling her, oh, you have to try this. Well, you have to try this. You have to try this. And she keeps trying all those things and nothing helps. And so, but when she gets to an exorcism, you realize she's tried every option. And so you sympathize with her a lot more. Why would she even consider this? So,
As opposed to that TV show that I talked about called Evil, where an exorcism is something they do like, all the time.
yeah. So, yeah, I think it makes the impact way, way more meaningful. So,
Especially as a parent.
yeah. And then, so that I saved, I'm gonna jump the gun here a little bit. I watched Nicolas Cage in Renfield.
Okay.
I had to. I said I was gonna watch it for Halloween, but
Yeah.
I made an exception. So I watched it the day after Halloween, and it's good. It's very good. I enjoyed myself. I've ranked it on our list even.
Mm-hmm. I need to update the list. I can't remember if I did the last two. I did do them. Okay.
So I've actually. Oh, I didn't. I didn't. In my mind, I did, but I actually didn't.
I see you doing it live.
That is. I matched you with an A. He's very cagey. He makes the movie. He's the highlight of the movie when he shows up.
I wish he was there more, though.
Yes. So, yep.
It's good.
Absolutely.
Good.
Go and watch Renfield. It's a good Halloween movie.
Is that the only Cage you got?
No, I got more.
Okay.
But I watched some other things, so I just wanted to I'm going in
Stick
order.
with the Halloween part, yeah.
Yeah. Halloween. Next, I watched
Halloween.
a movie that came out. A movie that came out in theaters. Not actually, it might still be in theaters. I'm not sure. It's called The Creator.
Okay. I have not heard of this.
It's basically it's a futuristic. It's a sci-fi movie about humans going to war with AI. So
Interesting.
AI has become sentient and they just want to survive on their own, but humans are against them.
Terminator.
Kind of ish. Yeah. Um,
This is on your Plex
it's on my Plex. So you don't have to go to the theater to watch it.
or download it.
Or
I just remembered a movie I was in the middle of watching. Damn. All right. Anyway.
It is a great concept. I really like sci-fi, and good sci-fi is hard to come by. There's a lot of it is like, and this falls under that. It's a great concept. It starts off really well, but by the end of it, it just kind of nosedives off a cliff and just is like an unsatisfactory ending, in my opinion. Not saying you shouldn't watch it. It's cool. Like the war is cool, the AI is cool, that some of the like philosophical principles they're talking about is cool, but just the execution. They do the one thing I hate in movies the most is like I'm gonna put this bomb down and it's set for 10 minutes, and then within minutes it's like 5 minutes they're gone and they haven't moved. They're still standing beside the bomb. Like you have 5 minutes. You need to get you're on a flying spaceship.
Why even set a timer if you're not going to follow the timer? Like,
Yes,
do what it,
like get away. Anyways, and then the last 5 minutes takes 15 minutes for this 5 minutes to go by. He's gone from beside the bomb to what I know is the other side of the ship in less than 5 minutes. And I'm like,
okay.
It's the stupidest thing. I'm pretty good at like suspending my disbelief in most things, but that's the one thing I cannot. It just really bugs me. So
there's a guy in this that's in Willow, the TV series.
What's that?
There's a guy in this that's in Willow, the TV series.
Which one?
British Indian guy.
Oh, Amar.
Omni is his name in this, but he also has two other names in this.
Oh yeah, so Omni Chadha Patel. Yeah, he's
yeah.
No, so not to give it away, but like AI, you can humans can donate their likeness to AI, so AI can have bodies, and so he's just he's the same. He's a different AI, but they just have the same body. If you've watched, what's that show on Netflix? Altered Carbon.
Yeah, I did start watching that.
Same kind of idea where it's just like you have a sleeve is not who you are, but it's who your outward appearance is.
Yeah.
Very cool concept, but I fell off of Altered Carbon.
So did I. Yeah, very quickly.
I think I
anymore, but
I had like 2 or 3 episodes left to go, and I just didn't have the drive to go back. So
I can't remember why I didn't watch much. I think I only watched like 3 episodes, maybe.
And that's it for movies, really. I have some Nicolas Cage stuff after that, but
7 Nicolas Cage.
But oh gosh. Well, I'll be in between yours, I guess.
As I like to say, anything worth doing is worth overdoing.
I've been watching a TV show again. This is what I've been up to my entire night. My wife got into got into the habit of watching. You know how people put up like the shorts of like a scene from a TV show, and so you just watch that scene, and then it just compounds itself. You keep getting more recommendations to watch more scenes from that TV show.
Okay.
I have this with like Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad. I watch the scene. I'm like, I remember
that happened to me with Taskmaster.
Yeah, same idea,
TikTok,
but yeah,
which I am now watching still. That's another thing that I watched is season 12 of Taskmaster now. So we've done 12, 13, 14, 15. We've watched 4 seasons of it.
Oh wow.
Working our way down as season 16 comes out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so she started watching clips from Game of Thrones. She's never seen the show, but for some reason she clicked on a scene from Game of Thrones. So she's watched a couple scenes. So then she's asked me about it. She's like, maybe considering watching Game of Thrones. Again, not something that I would ever consider watching with her because
didn't we already discuss that your wife and my wife have both never seen Lord of the Rings as well?
My wife says she's seen them, but she's fallen asleep through them and that kind of thing. Like,
okay.
It's not that it's boring. It's so she can't keep track of it. The names are too weird, and she doesn't know who's who and that kind of thing.
Hmm.
And so, based on all of that, Game of Thrones to me is just like way
Way
outside the
worse.
realm.
Yeah, way worse. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she expressed interest in watching Game of Thrones. I'm like, okay, well, how about we watch like one or two episodes and we gauge it from there, right? Just
Hmm.
to see, if you're following it,
If you stay
if you're
awake.
if you're stay awake, if you're interested, that kind of thing. So we went through a couple episodes and came back. How's it feeling? And she's like, yeah, I'm into it. So we watched the first season of Game of Thrones. And then after that, we went on to the second season of Game of Thrones. And now we're currently on the third season of Game of Thrones. So
I forget where I dropped off.
that that is an excellent TV show. Like really, really good. Even for it makes even more sense to me watching it a second time. The first time I
Okay,
watched it,
yeah.
I've never read the books. Or I've read the first book
You
in
shouldn't have
audiobook.
to.
You shouldn't have to, no. But I'm saying coming in as a new fan, same thing with like the same argument applies with Lord of the Rings. I don't understand who's who. The names are all weird.
Hmm.
Everyone has different colors, different sigils, different motivations. Who's screwing who at this point, literally and figuratively, right? So
That's a bigger problem in Game of Thrones than Lord of the Rings, but
yes. So, but knowing what I know about the rest of the series, I'm able to pick out people. Oh, that's where this comes from. I can see the beginning of where the tale. I know it's going to end. And I can recognize characters better. I recognize locations better, names of locations, who's at those locations, and that kind of thing. So to me, it makes way more sense. To my wife, who's never watched anything like this before, like this isn't in her wheelhouse at all of kind of things
Mhm.
to watch. So some of it is going like right over her head. She's just like, to be honest, sometimes I hear them talking about names and blah blah blah. She's just like, I just tune it out because I can't keep track of it. So I end up having to like pause it. I'm like, okay. And again, the first time I watched this, completely lost. I had no idea. I was watching for the action. I was watching for the boobs, that kind of thing. So, yeah.
And even
So,
that couldn't keep me watching it.
well, he got less and less as the season went on. So, it's again, now that I can see it, I can pause it and be like, okay, this is what they've said. You know that this isn't true because of what we just saw in last season or whatever. It can point out people for you. So I'm trying to keep it straight for myself, but also help her get through the first season or the rest of her first watch, that kind of thing. But it is
Her only watch.
her only watch, yeah. To be honest, I think it is still it's a show that rewards you for paying attention. If you pay attention, it really does reward you for knowing who's who and that kind of thing. But again, if you have it on the second screen and move on and do something else, you're gonna lose a lot of it. So, but very good, very very good. It's hard to I know watching this knowing where it ends because season 8 is such a bummer.
I don't remember where I ended.
Yeah. So
I do. I did see that I ended Altered Carbon. I watched all of season 1.
okay, yeah, I didn't finish all season. I stopped.
Game of Thrones, I still don't know. I'm trying to see if it's in my track. Yeah, see, I watched all of season 4 up to season 4.
Okay.
I did not go on to 5.
All okay, yeah. It's still good. It's honestly it's good right up until season 8.
And at the time, it could just be that 5 wasn't out yet, so I didn't watch
Yeah.
it. And then I just was like, whatever, I don't care enough to go get it and catch up and remember where I was and all that crap.
Well, it's funny because we were watched season 1 and 2, and I hadn't upgraded my downloads of it, so I'm still watching it in like standard definition. So everything's a little bit fuzzy, a little bit hazy. Anyways, we finished season 2, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna download like 1080p versions, like Blu-ray copies of everything, so I can actually see it. Because I was downloading them as they came out, right? So I was getting whatever version I could find,
Yeah. Me
and some of them
too.
are pretty garbage. So
Yeah, I got it the day after season 4, the last episode, the day after it came out. It doesn't show when I watched it though.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure I could figure it out if I dug in, but
Well, actually, after I downloaded the 1080p versions, I went back to one of the battle scenes, and I had no idea it was raining during the battle. Because
oh,
I couldn't see the rain in the copy that I had.
so yeah, I watched it 3 days after it came out in 2014. So
Okay.
I was right up to date on season 4 as it came out,
Yeah.
and then I guess I didn't bother with season 5.
It's good.
Debatable.
All right. Nicolas Cage time. Sorry, everybody. I've got some more stuff to talk about after this. It's not going to end on Nicolas Cage. So.
Want me to start? I got more.
Go for it. 'Cause I only have 3. So
Okay. Like I said, I have 7. Nicolas Cage. First one I watched was 1994's "It Could Happen to You."
ooh, okay. I can jump in because I watched that as well. It's the second
Mm.
Nicolas Cage movie I watched.
As I was the day after I watched it, I realized I already had it on VHS on a tape I had recorded the day before that.
Oh, perfect.
So anyway,
Yep.
yeah, it was fun. Like, police officer promises to share his lottery ticket as his tip. And I remember this at the time, or somewhere around the time, hearing about this movie and never watching it before.
Yeah.
But anyway, finally watched it. What's her name? His wife in it, Rosie Perez.
Rosie Perez, yeah.
I still remember her from White Men Can't Jump. When I was a kid, I watched that far too early for what I was supposed to have watched that movie.
I've never seen it.
I like her. Like, I'm like another, like, oh, I was obsessed with her at the time, right?
Okay.
But in this movie, she's not likable at all.
No, she's not likable. She's so annoying in this movie. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's annoying in White Men Can't Jump too, but that's different.
Yeah, fair. Fair.
Yeah, anyway, the movie was fine. I don't know. It was good.
It was completely average. Nicolas
Yeah.
Cage wasn't. Nicolas Cage was paying like same kind of deal as like the what's it called, Red Rock West. He's the goody two shoes. He can't lie. He can't steal. He's got a, he lives by his word. That kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, just completely. It's just a fine movie. It's just
Yeah.
average.
Yep, pretty much.
Yep. What did I put it? I think I put it as a C. It's
We
not
both put it
cagey
as a
in any
C.
way.
Yeah, we both put it as a C. I think he had a scene, one scene maybe? I don't remember anything though.
No.
I don't know.
I watched it.
I watched it like 2 days after our last podcast recording.
I watched it like yesterday.
Okay. You tell me then.
Yeah, there's no caginess. No cage.
Okay. Yeah, so he's being a good guy. Him being obsessed with a woman, but that's
I
the
wouldn't say
closest.
he's obsessed with a woman. Near the end, kind
That's
of,
true.
but he's trying, again, staying loyal to his wife. He kind of slowly falls in love with her,
Ish.
the new girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say obsessed.
No.
Not in the way he has been in before. So
No, definitely.
I think he's starting to break out of that trope.
So I just removed one from your list, is what you're saying. You don't need to mention that one anymore.
I don't need to mention that one. No. So you might as well go to the
I
next
pretty
one.
much guarantee you did not watch 2015's The Runner.
I did not. I'm still
it's
at
about-
94.
I skipped ahead. I was just like,
Okay,
what is
yeah,
this movie? BP oil spill. Basically, he's a
Okay.
politician who's like actually trying to do something about the BP oil spill and make them pay and blah, 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 blah. But then he gets caught up in a scandal and it ruins him. And this is all about that, basically. It was fine. I don't know. Like, it's 4.7 out of 10 on IMDb.
Hey,
It
perfectly
was
average.
fine.
Yeah.
I had no idea what it was about going into it. I saw The Runner and my mind went to The Maze Runner. Like,
Yeah. Probably
not
a
at all
better
related.
movie.
Yeah. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was, I don't remember. There was caginess. What did I rate it at? Oh, Jesus. I can't breathe without coughing. I rated it as a C
2015?
as well.
Okay. Doesn't sound very very
Not
cagey.
very cagey. It's not bad, but it's not cagey. Yeah. Cheats on his wife again. Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
His wife doesn't care. That's
Yeah.
more surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, speaking of Elijah Wood, I had to watch this when I saw it. The Trust from 2016 with Nicolas Cage and Elijah Wood.
Is that where they're police officers?
Yep, they
Yep,
are a
I've
pair of
seen that
cops
one.
investigating a drug invasion. What? Investigating a drug invasion, stumble upon a mysterious bank vault.
Yeah.
You've
I've
seen it?
this one. A long time ago.
Mm.
I probably saw it in 2016.
I have it rated. You don't have it rated. I rated it as an A. I believe because he's pretty cagey.
Mm-hmm.
Like he plays an eccentric kind of character.
Yeah.
And I like Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
And the movie wasn't bad.
I do remember liking it. I need to watch it again, but I do remember liking it.
Oh, my coffee's getting worse. Yeah, I remember enjoying it. I don't remember why I gave it an A, but I think it was just because he was pretty cagey. And the movie was decent.
And it works for that. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to do one or you want me to keep going?
I can do one, and then I have one more after that. I watched 1994's Guarding Tess.
Oh, I watched that last time.
You did. It is completely average. He is not cagey whatsoever. I think, again, he's trying to break out of that role. He's trying to do something else. This feels like I think what you said, he's, again, trying to become that action star, even though this is not an action movie. And they kind of force a bit of action and
he's supposed to work for
tenseness
the Secret Service, so you can
Yeah.
understand him being actiony, but there isn't action in the movie.
No, there's no action in the movie,
Like,
right? So
the biggest
she
action
gets-
is when the old lady runs away.
Yeah. And then the end where she gets kidnapped, and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, we've got to find her. But even then, it's just not very actionable.
Most of the action happened off scene, like with her actually getting kidnapped. You don't see.
Yeah.
You just hear about it afterward. You get the picture in your mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it that part almost felt forced. Like I almost wish they could have found another thing to happen rather than her getting kidnapped.
And the kidnapping feels so
It feels so forced.
badly planned.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was the last minute. We need to finish this movie somehow. How do we finish this movie?
How do we
How
put
do we
some
bring them together?
Yeah. We need to have some, action. We need to have some sort of antagonist that's not either of the two
Some
main
feel good.
characters. Yeah.
Feel good ending. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I matched you on that one. It is a C. It's better than last month where I had all D movies. So we've moved up a little bit. So
Well, moving up from a C, we have 1995's Kiss of Death.
yep.
So this
Alright.
is almost more of a David Caruso movie than it is Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
David Caruso is a reformed convict, but not for long.
Not for
He gets
long.
back into it. He gets back into it because he needs money and there's an easy job and he just got out of jail or out of prison. And Samuel L. Jackson's a cop. Helen Hunt is his wife. For the beginning. And Michael Rappaport? Yeah. He's in it as well. He's the cousin that talks to him to get back into crime.
Okay.
David Caruso's basically like a genius or a savant almost in this movie. Like he's just like playing the cops and playing the bad guys. And Nicolas Cage is the mafia, the mafia, whatever you want to call it, the organized crime boss's son in the movie. The guy who David Caruso goes to jail to protect. He's the son of him, but the dad dies partway through the movie on uninteresting way. Like not at all interesting, just so that Nicolas Cage can become the boss, basically.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage is pretty cagey in this. I put it as a B because he's pretty cagey. He's not the main guy though. He's the like secondary or tertiary character. Samuel L. Jackson's also in it. He's the cop that's helping or working with David Caruso to try and get Nicolas Cage to confess basically to crimes, or to his dad to confess earlier on. Yeah, big cast too. Like, you heard me say all these names, and there's
Yeah,
more
quite a few.
people than that, but I can't remember the guy's name. Oh, Ving
Big
Rhames.
Rames, yeah.
Ving
Philip
Rhames.
Baker
Yeah,
Hall.
yeah. There's tons of people in this movie,
A lot of people that I recognize.
but yet, and Nicolas Cage. Oh my god. I don't. You're never gonna watch. These people are never gonna watch the movie. You will, but
I
his
will.
wife
Yeah.
dies. His wife dies, and he goes to prison again, and he gets out, and he just starts dating the childcare provider, the daycare girl. Like, she used to be a kid. She watched your kid because she was like a teenager, and
Yeah.
she's just like, and you have me now. It's like, what? Like, he's got to be like 20
Because
years older than
reasons,
her.
yeah.
Yeah, because you've been watching my kid while I've been in prison this long, so now you're basically its mom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Might as well.
weird. But
Funny.
Cage is pretty cagey in it. I like the character he played.
That's good.
Yes.
So this is the second movie Nicolas Cage has played with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
He's also the second movie he played in with Stanley Tucci. Stanley Tucci was also in It Could Happen to You. He was the girl's husband to be ex-husband. Who I've never seen him that young. He's ripped in that movie. Very muscular. Walking around with no shirt on. Being a big hot
And
shot.
It Could Happen to You?
Yeah.
I don't remember who he was.
He showed up in her apartment and he was like
Oh yeah, her like boyfriend,
her
husband.
ex,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
her ex-husband. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. She couldn't get a divorce. Blah blah blah. Yeah. That's funny. Yep.
Also in that movie, sorry, this is I like making connections for some reason. It's kind of been my
This
he's
is
in
Kiss
that
of
movie.
Death of 1995. We're talking about.
Oh, no, I'm moving on to the next one.
Okay.
It Could Happen to You, starring Nicolas Cage, also starring Richard Jenkins, which for some reason that's just a name that sticks with me. In 1994, and then the next movie that I watched, Trapped in Paradise, also Nicolas Cage and Richard Jenkins in the next movie, back to back.
Huh.
So yes, I watched Trapped in Paradise. So last night I watched It Could Happen to You. I started Trapped in Paradise, but I started falling asleep, so I stopped it. And then I kind of watched it throughout today as I had time at work. I would like stop somewhere, so I'd watch 10 minutes of it.
Okay.
And then I finished it at home, like just before the podcast. I had watched the last 20 minutes. So.
And you rated it higher than me.
I did rate it higher to you because it is a Christmas movie.
Okay.
So here's where I've hit the Christmas. I've hit the Nicolas Cage Halloween and Nicolas Cage Christmas in 1 month. So I thought that was funny. I thought it was funny because he is pretty cagey. He has some cagey moments. Between him and John Lovitz, they're going back and forth pretty far. I find Dana Carvey super annoying in this movie. He's doing a weird voice. He's kind of playing like the stupid brother stereotype.
Yep.
So that
as opposed to John
kind of
Lovitz,
annoying.
who's like a like sneaky, always up to no good type brother.
Yeah, but they're all stupid because Nicolas Cage is trying to keep his brothers out of trouble because they just got out of prison, and then his brothers are doing stuff, and Nicolas Cage never questions who they're talking to or what they're talking about. He just lets them make decisions. I'm like, even me, I know this. Oh, you're talking to somebody on the phone? Let me talk to them. I know you're trying to get me to do bad things. Let me talk to the person you're talking to, and they can tell me. But he just takes their word for it, which I would never do. Yeah. So, I also like this movie because this is just a me thing. I think it is pretty good, other than the fact that like they force a kind of romance into it in like the last 5 minutes of the movie. They're just like, oh, by the way, we kind of had feelings for each other, so I'm gonna stay here, and that part wasn't needed. He could have found a different reason to stay there, not a girl that he didn't. He had spent like 2 lines for the whole movie talking about. And even when he goes in to kiss her at one point, you're like, this is the stereotypical. I don't know if they did this on purpose because in a stereotypical rom-com, that would be the point where the guy and the girl would kiss, and he goes in for the kiss, and she kind of pulls back. She's like, "I don't even know you," and she walks away. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
I don't know if that's being self-referential
I
or
think
they're
so.
being aware of what they're doing,
The
but
movie was trying to be different, right?
yes.
Yeah.
So other than that, that part was good, but then later he just ends up with her anyway, and I'm like, ah, okay, fine. But he does have Cage in it, that's why I like it. The interesting part about this movie is at one point they're at a gas station. They're eating inside, and then he comes outside and he gets in the car with some other guys. In the background, filling up at the gas station is an herb transport tractor and trailer. Herb
Okay, Herb
Transport
Transport.
is a local trucking company in our area.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So that put me on the thing. I looked up, where is it? Where is this filmed? It was filmed in Elora and Fergus.
Ha, that's funny. Fergus, the place where I just talked about picking up the
Where you
skeleton
just thought,
from.
yeah, exactly. It was also filmed in Toronto, like big city parts in Toronto and some parts on Niagara on the Lake, but mostly Elora and Fergus because it's
That's
all 20 minutes from here.
well, Dana Carvey's Canadian.
Okay.
Filming locations to Niagara on the Lake, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I'm not crazy. I don't think John Lovitz is, but Dana Carvey I'm sure is. Now I have to look it up to be sure.
Quick Google on our podcast. Quick.
Yeah, I don't. Of course, it doesn't show it in his summary.
Of course not.
Oh no, he's born in Montana. Never mind.
Never mind.
I always just assumed he was Canadian. I think because of the SNL people thing. Yeah.
Is he attached to
not.
Mike Myers, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah, that was just it. Just kicked off something to me, just because I'm in trucking, so I saw the truck and the logo is the exact same even from back then.
That's hilarious.
So, it'd be funny to see.
It's
I was
surprising that long ago to have something this long ago made in Canada, because typically movies nowadays do it because it's cheaper, right? Even the last, let's say, even 20 years.
yeah.
But this is over 30 or almost 30 years ago.
Even in the 90s, they were doing that in Toronto because
Were
isn't
they?
like Santa Claus that was filmed in Toronto, like Tim Allen Santa Claus.
Was it? Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
And maybe I just wasn't aware of it back then, which is
yeah.
very
They've been doing
likely.
that for a long time, but it's funny but anytime I hear them talking about them filming in Canada, it's always main big cities because that's where it's expensive. Toronto, Vancouver, Quebec, those places. They're trying to hit the
Yeah.
big cities and make them look like New York.
But you can also get those places to get people into town. Like you land an airplane in Toronto, it's not far until you get to a set. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
As opposed to they want to land people in Toronto from California and drive them to Niagara on the Lake or Elmira or
Yeah, and that's why
Fergus,
this
it's
was
not
funny. It was
close.
like Elora and whatever. And then once I knew it was in
yeah.
Elora and Fergus, I was like, I'm gonna see if I can recognize any places. I didn't recognize much, just because the landscape has changed so much from that. But there is one spot where they go down a street and they look across, and you can see a bridge, which is the main bridge in Elora that goes over the Elora Gorge.
That's funny.
So I did recognize that. It looks different, like the city is different now, but the bridge is the same. So, yep, cool. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
That's the second movie I know of Nicolas Cage filming in Ontario. The other one was that boat one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy Blue.
Boy in Blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what talking about
Yep.
the Seguin and stuff, and that was all Muskoka area.
That's funny.
Yep,
There's a
that's it for me.
As well in Ontario that they stopped in Winona, Ontario. Stop 50 restaurant. Apparently, we could go there.
We could.
All right. So I also watched 1995's Leaving Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is not at all what I imagined this movie to be. Just hearing Leaving Las Vegas all these years,
Mm-hmm.
I expected it to be something like Honeymoon Vegas,
Yeah.
where it's a couple going to Vegas to get married.
Yep.
This movie is very much not that.
Okay.
This movie is Nicolas Cage is a drunk who's going to Las Vegas to drink himself to death, and he meets a hooker who moved to Las Vegas to get out of California to get out of a bad relationship, and now she's stuck in Las Vegas hooking. He is very cagey. I'm
I've
actually
seen some
surprised I
clips.
only gave this a B. I only gave it a B. Maybe
Only
because it's
gave it
such
a
a bad
B.
movie. It's not a good movie, I don't think.
Okay.
I don't find it a good movie.
So
It
this
got
is one of those
7.5 out of 10 on IMDb.
this is one of those movies that in that clip that I posted in our Discord on a Cage page of Nicolas Cage looking through his own scenes,
Yes.
a clip from Leaving Las Vegas was in there.
I saw that.
Okay.
And it was like that clip is the only one where they kind of like took a camera that wasn't like a regular camera. It looks
Yeah.
like they shot from a security
Like
camera, right?
A boom shot, basically. Yeah.
And that's basically what it was. Is they're supposed to be like security footage from the casino where he's wrecking the table. And he says in this thing that Josh found was in the interview, he says he was actually drunk in that scene because he wanted to get that scene right.
Yeah.
And throughout the movie, he was drinking like a sip at a time to get the taste for the alcohol to get in character to be drunk. And he was drunk in the whole movie. Like literally, this guy is drunk. The backstory they don't really explain much. There's like one line which he talked about in that scene, that interview, that explains that basically his wife left him and took custody of their son. And Nicolas Cage says during the time of this movie, he was actually going through a separation and custody of his kid at the same time too.
Yeah.
So he said it was real for him then.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the movie is weird. There's a lot weird about it. There's a rape scene. It's just a weird movie.
Huh. Okay.
I think that's probably why I gave it B, is because it's just, I don't find it a good story or movie. It was weird. You watch it and you tell me what you think.
I need to get to it. Yeah. So I'm real close. So the
Yeah,
next
you
two
are.
that I need to watch are the two you just talked about: Kiss of Death and Leaving Las Vegas. Those are the two,
Okay.
and then we're gonna start getting into the stuff that I really want to see. We're getting into The Rock, Con Air, Face Off.
Yeah.
We're gonna start getting the Cage that I've grown up with.
Well,
So.
I skipped a couple of those. I jumped to 1999's Bringing Out the Dead.
Okay. This is
Nicolas
a
Cage also
Scorsese
talked
movie,
about
isn't it?
this in it. Yes.
Okay.
He also talked about this in that clip too that you're talking about, that interview.
Okay.
So in this one, it says haunted by patients that he failed to save, a monumentally burnt out Manhattan ambulance paramedic fights to maintain his sanity over 3 increasingly turbulent nights. Honestly, I started watching this movie not paying attention to it because I didn't think I needed to, but just like 2 scenes in, I'm like, whoa, I need to pay attention to this because this movie is like trippy and weird, and like the whole thing's a fever dream. Like
Okay.
he's lack of sleep, and I think they're trying to convey that with the story itself. And I think there's even several times where they take drugs, or he takes drugs, or someone else takes drugs, and they kind of convey that in the scene, and
Okay.
with the way it's shot and the camera lighting and everything. And it's a weird movie. What did I mark this as? A B as well. He's pretty cagey. Like there's some good Cage in it. But I didn't enjoy it, and it was a good cast as well in this one.
Okay.
Who was there? Patricia Arquette is like his love interest, of course. John Goodman is like his buddy in the movie. Ving Rhames is in it again, or
Big Rames, yeah.
Ving Rhames. He's in it again. What was he? Another? I can't remember now. Anyway, and Tom Sizemore. I
Oh yeah, I
recognized
know
him.
Tom Sizemore. Yeah.
Mark Anthony is in it. I can't remember who he was in it because he's quite a bit younger in that. I don't know. There's tons of people in this movie. Martin Scorsese's in it as a dispatcher voice. I didn't realize that. I did recognize Queen Latifah, didn't I? I swear I heard Queen Latifah's voice as a dispatcher.
It's funny. I downloaded this probably like in October. I guess that wasn't that long ago. Yeah, I remember going through and I'm like, I need to get more Martin Scorsese movies, and this is one I downloaded. But I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
But
Okay. Yeah, I don't see her credited. Maybe it's someone else that I just thought was Queen Latifah. I don't know for sure. Sounded very much like
Sonia
her, but-
Son? She kind of looks like Queen Latifah.
I don't remember. They did
Oh no,
name
Queen
her.
Latifah is in there. Dispatcher to Love voice. There she is.
Where do you see her name?
I'm looking at her Plex. Her name's right.
Oh,
You
I'm on
scroll back and
IMDb.
she's
So
there.
it's just IMDb probably doesn't have her as top cast. That's probably the problem. I need to go into. Okay. Yeah, I was sure that was her. Yeah, it is.
Martin
Okay.
Scorsese.
Dispatch
Yeah,
Joyce.
Michael Kenneth
Dispatcher
Williams.
Love. Yes, they called her Love. That's what it was. Yeah, it's a crazy cast.
Yeah, I'm just looking through here. There's a lot of people I recognize.
Maybe I just missed out on something, or maybe I just wasn't feeling it. I mean, if I had ever been an ambulance driver, I'm sure I would have liked it more because you can relate to it more, but it was just weird.
I think you just
There's a
have to
lot
relate
weird.
with the, losing touch with reality. Put yourself in that mind frame.
There was stuff like, even like, let's go beat up a guy for the fun of it. We're tired and we're bored. Let's go beat up a guy. He's annoying anyway. Like that kind of stuff with the two drivers. And I was just like, what? Seems weird. Anyway, yeah. That was later on in the movie, but still. Yeah.
Huh. All right.
I think
get
it's
there.
just too weird for me, maybe.
I got 4 or 5 years of watching to get through before I get to that one. So.
At least 2 weeks.
I mean,
got-
of cinematic years. I'm going into 95 now. So.
Okay, I got you. I figured you're going to actually take that many years to catch up.
No. I'm hoping, again, these movies have been hard for me to go through just because it's an era of Cage that I just don't have much interest in. So he's also not particularly cagey, so I don't even have that to look forward to. So
In some of them, especially those 94, 95.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's why you should just jump around once in a while.
but see, I've started this train now, so I can't. I just got to keep going.
No, you're
And
not like Eric. You don't have to go in order.
I don't have to. No, you're right. I don't have to. But it's
In
fun
fact,
for me.
you went out of order for Renfield.
I did. Yeah. But it's fun for me to. It's fun for me to watch the progression.
I can see
right?
that. Yes. Yeah. Of him.
Yeah.
But then again, release year doesn't mean production year either.
No, it doesn't. But
I'm sure
just
there's
in
some
general,
order.
just to see him grow as an actor, because when he started, he wasn't good. Right? He was almost a bad actor, and he's slowly. You can see him trying to like get his footing, and he's actually getting better.
Yeah.
He's stumbled there a little bit, and I don't think it's all his fault. I think it's just the movie. His movie
Direction
choices
and
weren't
editing
good.
Can do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so my last one, I jumped to 2004's
Ooh.
National Treasure.
Oh yes, another one he talked about in his interview.
Yeah. He did the quote, "I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence."
So good. This was like a. I'm not gonna say a childhood favorite, but one that was on rotation when I was a kid, for
Okay.
sure. And it was
I've never
mixed
seen
in
it.
with like the Indiana Jones, the Mummy, National Treasure. It was like those three were like the ones we would watch.
I swear, for some reason in my mind, this movie gets confused with Night at the Museum. Did they come
I
around
can
the
see
same
that.
time?
I
don't
can
know
see
why.
that. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. And I'm gonna check it out. Night at the Museum. What year did that come out? Come on, it only shows me the first. Oh, 2006. So it was before this. Sorry, Night at the Museum came out after National Treasure. Anyway, I never watched it till now. It was decent. It was like had the Da Vinci Code type feel to it, solving problems and stuff.
Yeah.
I actually just heard a podcast referring to National Treasure, and I'm like, I get the reference. They were talking about a video game using that way of making it. Was it Giant Bomb or Easy Allies? I forget. Anyway, yeah, it was neat. I rated it as an A
Perfect.
because it was a good movie and he had some caginess to him.
Yep.
Not crazy cagey, but
No. He's holding it back. The caginess comes in how serious he's taking the material.
yeah,
He's playing
I
it
can see that.
serious. It's a stupid concept, right? It's a stupid premise, and he's
yeah,
playing
he even
it.
says that himself. Like how seriously we took this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, that's what makes it ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. Then he starts laughing in the interview. It's pretty good. I think that was a Vanity Fair interview, right? Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it was Vanity Fair.
Very recent too, I think. Yeah, it's for the movie Dreams that he's in.
I actually need to.
Came out. Yeah,
I made a good GIF out of that video. I gotta post that.
Which video? Which movie?
The Vanity Fair one.
Oh, really?
I got a good GIF out of it. Hold on. I'm gonna
Podcast
post it.
listeners, just wait. So you
Go
can
sign.
check out our Discord.
Go sign up for our Discord if you want to see all the gifts.
I think my voice is running out.
There you go. That's a good one.
Of course, you put it in the Cage page, our
course.
dedicated channel for Nicolas Cage.
I think it will be all
hard
for
to watch.
anytime we have a Nicolas Cage movie that's a C or a D or an F, D or F. I think it'll be
Yeah,
hard to watch.
Yeah. So we're filling in our movies. What do we got?
Coleman.
I've watched 41. You've watched 44, but you haven't rated all the ones you've watched because you watched them a long time ago.
Yes, and all the ones I've watched, I'm gonna watch again. So
Lies.
The only I could see myself if when I get to National Treasure, I could see myself skipping ahead to watch National Treasure 2.
Because you know National Treasure so well.
Just because I want to see the continuation of the story rather than the continuation of Nicolas Cage.
Skipping ahead, you mean?
Yeah. Like I would just skip from whatever
skip
National
one?
Treasure in 2004, and then National Treasure Book of Secrets was 2007.
Okay.
So rather than just wait till I get there, I would just go National Treasure, then I would watch National Treasure Book of Secrets right after.
Okay, I can see that. Yes, I thought you meant skipping 1 and going right to 2. I'm like, what?
No.
Anyway, I gotcha. Yep.
I would just
Sure.
skip the everything in between. Just
I might. It's a random chance that I might.
Never seen it. Never watched that one.
Me neither.
All right.
I have nothing else. I have nothing else written down.
Nothing written down. That's it.
Nope.
Well,
I didn't do anything. I didn't play anything. I didn't watch anything. I actually had notes, unlike you.
I know. I had
I was
things.
hoping you were going to say you do have notes now.
I don't have notes. Me notes. Or I think about it every time I think about it. I'm like, I should do notes. Yeah, I'll do notes. Yeah, don't do notes. The movie podcast that I was listening to, the Cinefx Top 100, is taking a break. So I'm going to go through and also catch up on those movies when I can find a break from Game of Thrones and Nicolas Cage. I gotta get in there. There's a couple in there that I really do need to watch. And I started listening to another podcast. Podcasts, by the way, are changing. Google Podcast is ending. I don't know if you heard that. Maybe I told you that.
I think
you knew already. The Google Podcast is shutting down.
Yeah.
Good old Google being its great Google self. So I've got to switch over to another podcast service at some point.
Not this podcast. What you
Pardon?
listen on. Not this
listen
podcast,
on, yeah.
What you listen on.
Yeah.
Another
what's another one?
Something.
By the way here, Ramble Record Repeat has not put out an episode in how many months?
Do you have a
2 months
ginger ale
now?
to pour out?
I don't have a ginger ale to pour out, but it's getting stale. It's sitting over here waiting.
That's all right. They'll never hear this anyway.
They don't get past. They hit the cage for it and they just shut it off.
They don't make podcasts or listen to them.
Well, Chris sent a message to us on Twitter talking about answering some of our questions about Toronto Game Expo, and that's where I mentioned to him, I'm like, listen, I just been waiting for a Ramble Record Repeat podcast to get in here and start talking about stuff. So this is just my verbal reminder to them to get their butt in gear and start putting out an episode.
I'm just gonna mention them on Discord, in our Discord channel for their podcast.
Yeah, because they don't have their own Discord. They just have a channel
They
in our
just want to be
Discord.
affiliated with us. That's all.
Yeah. Well, they are our subsidiary, right?
Mm-hmm. Only makes sense.
Yeah. So, anyways, one of the podcasts again that I listened to is now ending, considering one is not putting up episodes at all. I listened to the Non-Tendo podcast, and I just started listening to them like 2 or 3 months ago, and now they're ending, which is the one with Bob Wolf and Wood from Beat 'em Ups.
Okay, I know Woo of Wood, yeah.
Okay. So they have the Non-Tendo podcast, and that's finally ending after 3 years, 2, 3 years.
Good time for you to start listening to them.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, this is good, and I'm enjoying them, and they're funny and whatever. And then all of a sudden, Bob just decides, oh, I want to do other things, so he's just quitting. And so Wood is just kind of like left in the lurch, kind of like, oh, I guess I have to either. He's just like, I can continue it by myself, but I don't see that happening, so I'm probably just going to end it. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
you can
great
find
time for
someone
me
to
to.
do it with, but
Yeah. But again, it wouldn't be the same. That's the hard part.
Sure.
And I understand that because I went through the same thing with Ben and Game Hunters Are Us, right?
Yeah.
When he decided, well, not that weren't friends anymore, but we just decided to like I wanted to go solo. He didn't really feel motivated to do YouTube anymore. I could have rebranded the channel and just made it my own and kept the subscribers and moved on, but it just kind of felt like it didn't feel right, and so that's why we cut it off and I started a new. So.
Same thing basically happened with me with Two Dorks.
Yep. Feels great.
Although
And here we are together.
I did all the editing, I did all the recording, I did everything for that. He was basically just an on-screen talent, my brother-in-law. So I wouldn't feel bad changing that into me and someone else.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't, like if my son wanted to help, would do it with me. I would do that in a second.
Yeah.
Obviously he's too young now, but at some point.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just one of those things I guess you got to deal with. So that's one podcast leaving. They're going to finish out the year. They said they're going to go to the end of December and then they're going to stop. So
gotcha.
Let's get to that.
But then podcasts.
I'm behind now because I found another podcast, one that I've been watching clips of on YouTube, but they just took forever to actually post to an actual podcast.
Oh, okay.
Thread.
Yeah.
And so when I would check for it and I never could find it, and then I did finally find it when I thought to look again, they had posted them. Anyways, it's the Pixel podcast from Pixel Game Squad.
Okay, yeah.
So
those guys like Ricky and
Riff.
Yeah.
Aaron.
I've heard he does that. I don't know why, but whatever.
I'm not exactly sure. So he does kind of talk about it a little bit. He kind of mentions, he's like, oh, OGs call me Aaron. When people see me out in the wild and they call me Aaron, I know they're a Retro Liberty fan.
Mm-hmm.
If someone calls me Riff, I know they're a Pixel Game Squad fan, right? Sure. So that's how they can. He hasn't gone into reasons, but he does acknowledge that Aaron is his name.
All has to do with tearing the channel down and all that stuff too, right? But
yeah, which that hasn't come up in the podcast yet, but I'm not all the way through it. But yeah, I spent like 2 or 3 days that's all I listened to was just their podcasts, and it's actually a really good podcast. It's a really good format. I wasn't sure of it at first because it's kind of like they do kind of do a hard cut. They have a discussion, and then their producer comes in and says and he has a question, and it's a completely different question, and they go on to a different topic, and then 5, 10, 15 minutes of that, and then a different topic, and they just move on and on and on. But they talk about their life, their influences. They talk about YouTube a lot, what their current projects are. Good video game discussions about like the games they play, games they want to play, parenting as gamer dads and having kids and how do you deal with that. So it's a very interesting podcast. I don't agree with everything they've said, but a lot of it I do. So go and check out. Cool. Not that they need my endorsement from
nope.
But it is it's one I've just been listening to and putting everything else on the back burner and just kind of going through those.
Gotcha.
So it takes a lot for me to do that.
And catching up with podcasts. Yeah, I hate
the last one I did that with was like the Video Game Dads podcast, where I found them and I just listened to all their episodes in a row till I caught up. This one I've stopped. I listened to something different today, but like all last week was just like 3 days of just listening to their stuff. So gotta go back.
I can't think of what I've done that with. I know I've done it, but I can't think of what. I think probably I did it with Tadpog for sure. Tyler and Dave play old games. Great podcast. And yeah, I don't know. I did it with Polykill too, I think, but Like all their side podcasts.
Yeah. I think I did it
Too
for
many
Polykill too. When I
podcasts.
found it, I went back, but they weren't that far in when I found them, so I only
Yeah.
had like 10 or 15 to go back to, right? So it wasn't that bad. So,
Too many podcasts.
what's next? Oh, selling on Facebook. This will probably be our last topic for the day. End on a downer. I am so freaking fed up selling on Facebook.
Why, Josh?
Oh my gosh, people are such fucking idiots. Oh, I hate to
Don't hold
swear.
back. Don't hold back.
Oh, I have had so many no shows. I've had so many dead end conversations. It is ridiculous. I've spent even in a group, or not a group, in a chat with somebody over multiple days making a deal for a big bundle. I'm pricing, I'm discounting, I'm checking condition, I'm taking pictures of this whole thing, and then this guy just ghosts me. I've spent 2 to 3 hours working with this guy for multiple hundreds of dollars. Not even that much money, but and I'm giving a discount, and it's just like he ghosts me, doesn't talk to me, then he comes back and he's just like, "Oh, sorry, I was sick, whatever." Now I've just stopped talking to him. He hasn't got back to me. So, yeah, it's just really, really annoying. So I'm not sure what to do. I don't know if I stop selling on Facebook, like just take a break because I'm just getting incredibly, incredibly frustrated. Go full time on eBay, but that's again one thing I keep saying I'm going to do and I just haven't done.
Yeah.
So I need to figure some stuff out. I'm also trying to reorganize. So my game room is a mess. My garage is a mess, and I'm focusing more on my garage right now because winter is here. Um, I'm working on that trailer that I found. I'm still working on that. I spent some time like ripping it down and tearing down all the pieces and getting new tires and new rims and new lights and wiring. I haven't put all this stuff together because I've ripped everything off and I've put tires on it, but now I've got to go through and I can see a crack in the frame, so I've got to weld the frame back together. Not much, just little things here and there, but it's just enough to make it annoying. It's rusty, so I got to scrape rust off, grind rust, paint.
Yep.
Just stuff. And now that it's winter, it's probably not going to happen because it's just too cold to paint, too cold to be out in the cold and work.
Yep.
So in my mind, I'm just like, oh, I could work in my garage, but I have no room in my garage. So then I start thinking about
heat, right?
but I have space heaters. I could put a space, and it's
Right.
insulated. I insulated the door a couple of years ago, so it could be tolerable. So I just have to make space. So now I'm focusing more on that than I have been on selling. So yeah, just things. So I have a welder, so I need to learn how to weld. So I need to practice doing stuff there because I don't really know. I know the basics, but I'm not very good at it. I've done it maybe twice in the past 10 years. So not by any means even a amateur. Less than an amateur. So I got to get pieces of metal together and practice in my off time and that kind of yeah.
Welding's something I want to do sometime, but I think I've done it once. My brother is like, "No, you have to try it." So of course I did. When we had a shop together, I don't know how many years ago, like a hobby shop. We just
Hobby shop.
worked on our own stuff in.
That'd be fun. It wouldn't be. Trucks. I would need to. I remember a couple. I think it was a year ago. I remember having someone talk about, renting a shop together. Get like 5, 10, 15 guys together who would just all rent a space to have space to work on stuff.
We had one. I still have the key for it.
Break in.
I did once. I did open the door once, and there was a 4-wheeler in there. I'm like, all right, I probably shouldn't come in here because someone's obviously in here.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. And buying on Facebook. I had a very recent, very bad experience buying on Facebook.
Huh.
So I saw you know about this because I saw you the same night that this happened.
Okay. I don't remember
The
already.
I
Oh
saw
yes, you told me. Yes.
the 6-pack hardcover of Scott Pilgrim versus the World graphic novel, whatever you want to call it. So it was cheap. It was $50. This person was motivated to sell. I was like, great, $50, no problem. I'll buy it for hardcover because I remember selling volume 3 or whatever for several $100s on eBay.
Okay.
But I also want to have the books because the new cartoon just came out on Netflix and I really like the movie. I haven't played the game yet, but I love the music from the game and I want to play the game. Haven't got there yet. So this I'm like $50 for 6 books hardcover. Yeah, sounds great. Let's do it. So made plans to go and get it. Um, and they said they had to leave at some point, but gave me an address, and I said no problem. I'll e-transfer and I can just leave it on the porch and I'll pick it up. So I sent the money and then I went to go pick it up, and there was nothing on the porch. Not a huge concern. This happened before, but the guy was just like, "Oh, sorry, someone must have put it back in." They came back and they gave it to me, so it wasn't a big deal. I had to wait 10 minutes for the person to come back home.
Previous time.
Not a big deal. Previously, this time I sent I sent a message, "Hey, there's no bag," and they messaged back saying, "What? There should be." So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, it's not a scam because they wouldn't respond if it was a scam. They wouldn't sound
Why
apologetic.
bother? Yeah.
Yeah, they'd just be like, whatever, it's gone.
If it was a scam,
So,
it could be a fake address or who knows what.
yeah, but I was given an address. Everything seemed legit. They talked to me. So I said, okay, well, when can you come back? And he said, well, I'm on a bus going, I'm out of town. I had to leave to go, whatever. So I won't be back till tomorrow. I won't be back till midnight. And I said, what about someone else? They said, well, they won't be back till like even later. So I said, well, okay, well, I've sent the money. And they said, no problem. I'll send the money back. And then tomorrow come back and I can give you the books and you pay that. Okay,
Sounds
fine.
reasonable.
Sounds reasonable. So I said, okay, fine. I'll take the money back. No big deal. I waited. So then I came to see you to pick up Sweating from the Oldies from on VHS and give you that Google thing. And then the whole time I was there, nothing. Came back to my house, nothing. I sent a message saying, hey, I still haven't gotten an e-transfer of my money back. What's going on? They wrote back, oh, sorry, I'm still trying to figure this out. I'll let you know when I get it. So that's when my red flag kicked off because they were set up for auto deposit. So they know e-transfer. If you set up for an auto deposit, you know what you're doing. So rather than waiting, I figured, you know what? I will put forth the trust here and we'll see what happens. I said, all right, don't worry about it. I'll come back in the morning. Just, keep the money for now and I'll come back tomorrow and it'll be fine. And he said, okay, sounds good. Next day, I wake up, say, hey, let me know when the books are out on the porch and I'll come get them. No answer. Didn't even look at it. Hasn't even looked at it. Facebook, you can see their picture comes down when they've seen it. Nothing. And I wait 2-3 hours. Hey, nothing. What's going on? Nothing. Finally, I just decided I'm going to go to their house. So I drive over there, ring the doorbell. Nothing. I open the screen door to pound on the door, and the door swings open as I'm pounding on the door. So the door's not locked. So in my head, well, what this guy said before was like, oh, maybe someone took it in. This person who they live with took it inside. So I did peek inside just to look to see if the books were just inside the door. They weren't. I shut the door. I didn't go in just so we're clear. I didn't go in the house, but I did look to see if they were just inside the door. They weren't. Message, nothing. And then I started getting message about like, hey, okay, I want my money back for real now. Like, this is getting ridiculous. Still no answer, and to this day, no answer. So I've lost $50. I was quite livid.
Is the listing gone?
The listing is marked as sold.
Okay.
It was marked as
Yeah, I
sold
can't see it.
before I even got there.
Oh. Okay.
So
I see it
not
now.
sure.
I found it. I found the name.
Oh, you found it.
Yes. If I go to Mark, I can search for sold ones.
Oh, you can. Okay. So
I was mostly curious if they have anything else available, and they do. Lots.
you should message them.
Right?
Tag
And then we
team
trap
this.
them.
Yeah, because I was very. A lot of mean thoughts came through my mind. I'll be honest. I don't know. My weekend was basically ruined over this, and now I've kind of to the point where I've kind of let it go. It's only $50. I shouldn't be so upset about it, but I don't like being scammed. So
Mm-hmm. Me neither.
not sure what to do. Leave it or continue to just drive to their house once in a while and see if anyone's there.
Why does the listing look different?
Have you just
Anyway, I
go
don't know
and
if it's the right person or not.
drop
I'll never
some
know.
dog poop on their front lawn or on their porch or
I'm sending you a photo on Discord. You tell me if that's the same listing.
yeah, that's it.
Okay. Because the location shows different, like a different area of the town.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It did for me as well. So
All right. Well, I'm going to message them on their Skull Candy headphones and see if they reply.
okay. And then we'll show up together and be like, hey,
Yeah. Not even
I
kidding.
want my Scott Pilgrim books.
Not even kidding. They have good feedback. They have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 items sold.
Yeah.
They also have selling in Whitby, Sarnia, Whitechurch, Scoville, Toronto, Mississauga, Hamilton, Vaughan.
It's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, they are all kind of all over the place.
So, in the back of my mind, I'm just like, I hope they're okay. Like they went
Oh.
somewhere.
No, sorry, that's wrong.
Okay.
That part was me in the search for sold stuff, not their stuff. My
Oh, no, there's
mistake.
stuff. Okay.
All their stuff. Let me go back to their account
Okay.
and see the sold things. They do have 5 reviews. So they have the ones they sold to you, and then there's another Scott Pilgrim 3 novel edition, full color,
Oh.
that they also sold recently. It is different books, though. Yeah, different books.
Yeah.
Same story, but in 3 novels instead of 6, is what it says. And it was $30, listed 3 days ago.
That was about the time.
Interesting.
That was the same time that these were listed. That was
So they
Friday.
listed both at the same time.
Yeah.
All right, so they do have a lot of stuff sold, though. A lot of headphones. Oh, geez, headphones. Tablets. Like multiple tablets, multiple phones.
Yeah.
Game Boy Advance Game Boy Advance SP. Yeah, they do have stuff sold in Chatham, Kent area, which is far away from here.
Yeah. So that's why,
And
like, nothing.
all the recent stuff is Kitchener, though.
That's why nothing
So it's like
seems.
they
It doesn't seem like a scam account, right?
No, and they have reviews that are all 5 stars, but only 6 reviews or 5
So
reviews.
part of me just, and so that's the part that kicks off. Like, I hope they're okay. Like, maybe something happened, and they lost their phone or whatever.
On Facebook in 2018, not recent, but not old, not.
This is Detective Derek that comes out.
Yes, just wait till I start looking at their name.
Yeah.
It does look like a fairly common name. I mean, 2 first names for starters. Yeah.
Yep. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully, we'll have a resolution by the next time we have a
Maybe we'll have a video of us
podcast, which will be our
face-to-face with them.
anniversary, by the way. Next episode will be our anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Not yet. Not next one. Next one. Next one.
Well, I'm gonna find more on this person.
All right. Well, we can end the episode so that people don't have to listen to audio detectives.
We'll do a screen sharing and.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Have a Merry Christmas. Well, hopefully I'll probably do Christmas movies next.
Probably right after Christmas, where everybody wants to hear about Christmas movies.
Yeah, no one's been inundated for the whole month of December. Yeah, but hey, what can we get? So there is an option. I mean, we could switch to like I didn't bring this up with you before, but like we could switch to like a bi-weekly or a weekly schedule. It would be shorter episodes, but more
Would it?
Relevant. We would have
Would
to.
it?
We would have to. Yeah. Because we don't have a week worth of stuff to talk about, right? Not a month.
Yeah.
So it could be we could do an hour, we could do 45 minutes. But
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if I have time. We'll see.
we'll
see how this new job treats me as well.
Yeah, for sure. So it depends. Here, we'll do our call to action. Let us know. Let us know on Twitter or X or Discord. You guys want
Or leave us a message on the Anchor. Oh wait, you can't anymore.
I think you still can. I think you can leave voice messages still.
Can you? I don't know for sure. Anyway,
So let us know if you would like more frequent but shorter episodes, or do you want the monthly 2.5 to 3 hour podcasts? What was our last one? The last one was like 3.5, 4 hours. Well, it was basically two podcasts in one in that one. So we've hit 2.5 on this one, so it's a good time to quit. No one's getting too upset right now.
Some people are just upset not knowing what we do though.
But they're not vocal about it, so I don't hear it.
Fair enough.
All right, everybody. We will see you all in 2024.